Firstly, our statistic say right now it's around 300,000 Christian, plus minus. Regarding to the threat, just I need some minutes to explain you the situation. Today, Christians in Syria are facing the same fate of what happened in the period 1960 to 1925. Today, they are facing groups bearing the ideology of Al Qaeda and ISIS. Every day, there is violence against Christians. Dozens of Christians are detained in Hayat Tahrir al-Sham prisons. Some of them they have moved to the North Syria. They are seeking now Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. They are to make change in the demographic change in the Christian area. And also, we can say Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, they founded now hundreds of jihadist school. They are teaching them the takfiri ideology, which affects the Christianity directly. Recently, as we know all, Al Qaeda, the authority in Damascus, released thousands of ISIS members from the camps and the prisons. Now, these ISIS have spread throughout the Syrian cities. They are present in the public squares carrying ISIS slogans. These groups considering Christians and other minority as enemy of their gods, and they believe that they should be killed. And as we know, it's not secret. Nearly half of the so-called General Security, and the army, they are linked to Al Qaeda, at least linked to the ideology of the Al Qaeda. So we are talking about the real danger that threatens the Christians' existence.
Through the prayers of Holy Father, through the prayers of Holy Fathers of Jesus Christ, our God of mercy on us and save us. Amen. For those, good evening. For those new here, my name is Father Joseph Sladen. I've worked in Orthodox apologetics since 1998 and the founder of NFTU, True Orthodox and Ecumenical News, since 2004. We've been in the apologetic space on Facebook since 2016 and on YouTube since 2018. And if you appreciate what we do here, please like and subscribe. Today we do our live Q&A session where you can get your questions answered live as well as member-requested video reviews. So let's get started. And as always, if you want to jump on stream to ask a question or make a comment, just click the link at the top of the chat. I will be taking super chats from the YouTube chat. And if you want your question or comment without super chatting, I'll answer it, but you might miss it if I don't put it up. Before we get to the origin of the clip I had just mentioned, for those who follow me on X, you probably know I was talking about this a few days ago, which is when it was posted. But let's get through the opening comments and start here. Amanda LS1, good evening. Good evening. Sometimes two. Evening. Good evening. Good evening. Sometimes I won't be able to tune in, but I just had some pancakes. Feeling nice. Congratulations. Very nice. Blessed Lent to all. Absolutely. Fast in seriousness starts today. The Orthodox Field says, Father Joseph, did you watch the Archbishop Andrei interview? I have not, but it has been mentioned enough to me that I'm going to review it today. So after we get through talking about the first few things that we generally talk about, I will be getting to that interview, and we're going to find out what's in it, why it's so controversial, why the comments were shut off, why it was apparently upsetting people. Amanda Ellis with me, where can we watch the interview? I've seen links to it, so I'll have to find it, and I will mention where it is. Let's see, Taylor, with a member chat, Father bless, may God bless you in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Uninterested 6741, Father, what church are you a part of? I feel a part of me wants to say, if you don't know by now, like maybe do a little research. But I'm a true Orthodox Christian. I'm part of the Orthodox Metropolitan John of New York and New Jersey, and yeah. Orthodox Field says mic is muffled. Hopefully that's fixed. Let me see. Sounds like the webcam. Oh no, the webcam mic. Always our enemy on this show. our enemy on this show, the webcam mic. I need a webcam without a mic. Yep. Let's see. The bottom was with a member chat. Correct mic? No, it was not the correct mic. The audio is bad. On your webcam audio again, says blind reader John. Athanasios 1117 says, I love Israel. Okay. Orthodox Traditionalist says, there we go. Good audio. Thank you, everyone, for once again helping me with the audio. I have no idea how to disable the mic audio so it stops being primary. I will figure it out, being the tech master that I am, the hacker man of the internet. So yes, that's fixed. For those wondering about the video that I played earlier, that is Father Spiridontous. He is apparently, like, I guess he's from the GOC under Archbishop Kalinikos. He is, I think he's in Sweden, or he's someplace in the Middle East. And the point is that he kind of is like a liaison for the Middle East. So recently that he's been insinuating, and right now it's just at the prayer stage, but he's been insinuating the possibility of people going into Syria and protecting the Christian villages, which, if we're being honest, it's not an undoable plan. Even a few hundred people, and I mean the GOC in Greece, if we combine all the jurisdictions, it's probably like 2.5 to 3 million. But if even just the GOC Kalinikos, there's a lot of people, probably up to 1 million, but you wouldn't need that many to protect Christian villages in Syria. You just need like a couple of hundred, for lack of a better word, militiamen, and you can guard the city. But in any case, so this is that's an interesting geopolitical development. I was not expecting that, nor was I expecting the interview on Russia Today, which is what we were just watching. And so let us see here. So that's an interesting thing. I've noticed there's been a lot of kind of I guess you could say moves or statements that we're seeing from Greeks about not just Syria but Turkey. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I have no idea, but it's an interesting card to throw on the table to factor into the mix, if we will. So that's something that I thought I would meant to mention. Patricia T says, Father bless, may God bless you in the name of the Father and the Holy Spirit. Our priest sent some inquirers to an Avlona parish in Virginia. Yeah, that's right. That's right. There is an Avlona parish, I think, in Virginia. I want to say it's Father Pacomios. No, that's great. Then Shed the Light 14 says the same thing, but with capital letters. I'm glad to hear that, Shed the Light 14. And yes, the Avlona Synod, I have nothing but positives to say about them. We're in communion with them, so that's good. Let's see. Father Boniface with a member chat says, Benedicite. I've got to put on the member chats because member chats, like super chats, automatically appear. Unfortunately, most of them are mentioning how bad my sound is, but I fixed it, guys. Orthodox Traditionalist says that's West Virginia, not Virginia. You see, it's like, yeah, but it's like the Carolinas, like there's North and South Carolina, but like for people outside of them, it's just like Virginia and then West Virginia. It kind of merges in the mind, like North and South Carolina. It's just one big state. But that's because, I'm an ignorant Yankee. Anyway, let's continue on here. Let's see. Final day of ice cream and beginning civil war in Mexico. Okay, Reconquista. I mean, I assume there's Mexico's not exactly the stablest country right now, so I assume that's possible. Let's before we get to the Archbishop Andrei interview of ROAC, let's get to the basic updates. First off, the book. It's like 95% done. It's been a bad week in terms of getting things going on. Orthodox Traditional says, I don't think he's seen what's going on there today. I haven't, but I can find out. One moment. hit latest and see what we pull up. All right. The U.S. Senator urging Mexico to request U.S. military support as cartels begin to wreak havoc. Now is the time. Cartel forces are fighting Mexican troops and police with orders from their drug lords to kill all soldiers and police they can across Mexico. Firefights like this are taking place now around including the border. Okay. Well, let's see here. Just hold on. Can you guys see this? Because we can't see it, then there's no point in me watching it. So let me make sure that it can be seen. It is not. So let's do it again, shall we? Let's just open that up. And okay. Okay. So there seem to be references to, I guess, there's shooting. Drug war spreads to the coast from Pacific to the Gulf. Mexico is witnessing a dangerous escalation. No, I hadn't seen that, but that's pretty awful. So let's see. So yeah, okay. So I'm officially updated on Mexico. The cartels are starting war with the current government, which is funny because I thought the current government was bought by the cartels. But let's see here. Uninterested 6741. What is your opinion of Hotka and Metropolitan Demetrius? Once again, this is one of those questions I'm asked a lot. Very positive. I very much like Metropolitan Demetrius. I've known him for many years. And he's a great monk and bishop. There you go. So I don't know how many times. Maybe I should put that as a disclaimer as well as a disclaimer as to my jurisdiction. But in any case, let's see. Debt to Compromise says Mexicans doing Mexican things. Cartel civil war. Okay, so I think we've summed up what's at issue there. Obviously, I'm a little more interested about Christian villages in Syria because that is a historically more kind of an Orthodox thing. Unfortunately, every drug war that goes on, I can't cover. I know they matter, but you know, what are you going to do? Orthodox Field says, keep your powder dry, boys. Very true. Okay, so in terms of the book, I'm mostly done, as you know, 95% done. I did work on it this week, but unfortunately, I have serious scheduling issues, which, God willing, are going to end in the next day or two. We'll see. Okay, I can't even lie. I'm not even optimistic. I feel like it's going to be another 2 weeks. But all right. So that is coming. God willing, sometime Great Lent, hopefully before mid-Lent, it will be done and I will be putting it out. No, uninterested 6741. It's okay. I get the questions, those questions almost every week, so don't feel bad. I answer them a lot, and I don't know how to make answers clearer. Let's see here, and let's put up the old donation bullpen this week. It is the last full week of February, so goal is 300. We're currently at 0. Whether super stickers, chats, super chats, or other ways to assist on NFTU, help keep the lights on. Support us by subscribing or donating at nftu.net with various options like PayPal, Cash App, BTC, LT0, XMR, or on Give Send Go. Just look in the description. So yeah, we're basically trying to get everything together to pay the bills this month. It's always tricky. It was a kind of a really slow January, and that made me dip into a lot of debt. I still owe money on a few things, and I'm trying to pay those off. So anything that can be done to help is highly appreciated. Let's see here. What else we got? Emmanuel says, hello, Father. I'm new to your channel. Are there any old counters parishes in the Middle East? As I understand it, there are. They're not well mapped, but there are. And so, like, I've heard that there are communities in Syria, in Lebanon, in the Holy Land proper. They're not, numerically strong, but they do exist. And so, but I haven't tracked them. Let me see here. Okay. Hold on. It's Forgiveness Sunday. So obviously I get random messages asking for forgiveness and forgive me a sinner. Why would I jump on my cell phone? It's because sometimes we do get help over the amazing cell phone. And when that happens, we like to, I was right. Okay, another thing. So again, thank you. First off, thank you for helping keep the lights on. We just got assistance from V, and that was for $20. So we are now moving towards the goal. Give me 1 second while I change that and I do my math in my head. Because I have to, I don't have like one of these cool like tickers or anything, so I kind of just do the math in my head. So 300 minus 20 is 280. And so now we are already the goal is now 280. Oh, I got to take off the succeeded thing because we didn't succeed yet. So some things I'm not always awake and on the ball there. So there we go. And let me see here, put that there. And so $20 from V. Thank you so much for helping keep the lights on. We are already on the way. Hopefully we make the goal. If we make it to 75% of the goal, we stay, as always, we stay for another half hour because this show normally ends at 10:30, but we'll go to 11. If we make it the whole goal, we will go till 11:30 for an additional hour. So again, whatever you can do to help, let us know. So as I mentioned, book's 95% done. So we're still working on those last pages. They really make a difference because it will go from being an interesting history book to a useful reference with that one chapter. So it's kind of important. Again, as always, it's cafe time, which means if you're trying to get registered at euphrosynoscafe.com, let us know in the comments. euphrosynoscafe.com being basically the most exclusive Orthodox forum on the internet because we get hit by spam bots and DDoS attacks and everything you can think of so hard that we make it hard to get in. So that's why. It's not because we don't like you. It's because there's a million people that are writing from Russian and Ukrainian accounts trying to spam Adidas sneaker sales on us. But anyway, let me see here. Orthodox Traditionalist says, I'm going to put out the KGB book soon. As always, if you aren't following Orthodox Traditionalists here on YouTube, if you're not following their page, orthodoxtraditionalist.com, and following their news blog and the new publications that are coming out, you're missing out. Do that right now. Okay, there's more comments coming in. Brian Linger says, should I find a new church? M4M. Brian Linger says, should I find a new church if a former priest manipulated people and now I'm caught in this battle between the new priest and him clashing with parishioners that liked the former priest? If this is a first off, again, I recommend True Orthodox parishes. I'm pretty exclusive about that. If it's not a True Orthodox parish, you should leave anyway. But if it is, and this is some internal struggle going on, then what I highly recommend is contacting the bishop because it makes a difference. So, you have to do that. Let's see. Hey there, 096983 says, I saw in another video how you might have mentioned how True Orthodoxy was suppressed, attacked by Eastern Orthodox. Ecumenist heretics. We believe they are the Eastern Orthodox. I can't remember the details. Is that right? Can you touch on it? Yeah, basically, that's kind of going to be what my book is covering, the global history of what happened in the 20th century and the division between what we call the state-sponsored or official or Orthodox churches or the true Orthodox churches. And what you'll find is, unfortunately, the history, especially in Russia, is really, really bloody and persecutory. And, whether it's in Russia, whether it's in Romania, whether it's in Greece, whether it's in Bulgaria, whether it's in more recently Georgia, it's not pretty. But it is something that is absolutely necessary to investigate, because if you came to Orthodoxy committed to find the Eastern Orthodox Church as a pillar and ground of truth, and then you're being misled by ecumenists in pretty vestments, that's a dangerous position to be in. So, okay. So no, you're not misrepresenting the comment. Oh, Reconquista comes in for $9.99. Father, I'm doing the passport bro thing. There are no World Orthodox churches here in Peru, but I want the young lady to experience the divine liturgically. Should I bite the bullet and go, or just send her by herself? This is a tough one. And I'm gonna say why, because if you know, my family, part of my family is Peruvian, and one bishop that that I had great interest in was Bishop Chrysostomus of Ecuador. Now, as I understand, he is still active. I don't know if he is still in communion with our Lona Synod. I think they broke communion, but I don't know what happened to him. There are churches, I believe, in Peru and in Ecuador that are under him. At the very least, to my knowledge, he's not New Calendarist, but I could be wrong. He was on the traditional calendar, and he was serious. So that might be a solution, at least temporarily, to experience the services, and it's definitely better than going to a World Orthodox parish. KK says, how about a book on the U.S. government's attacks on Orthodoxy? Well, first off, I don't believe they're really attacking Orthodoxy now. I believe they're dealing with geopolitical issues as they are now. Had the U.S. government had a policy of restricting Orthodoxy? They did, but it was primarily among conquered areas. So, like, in other words, like Alaska, where there was a massive Orthodox presence, the U.S. government spent millions of dollars to introduce Protestant missionaries in the 1800s, etc. But outside of that, like, for example, this persecution that the World Orthodox, especially in the Roquefort MP, are claiming now, no, you don't have a right to declare at least some loyalty to government which is in a current state of war with another government that both of them are allegedly Orthodox, but they're all fratricizing everyone. And there are clergy that are basically taking sides on that. Yeah, once you start doing that, you start opening the door to Pharaoh registration, because your focus isn't on America, it's on another country. And we're not naming that country with a Kremlin or anything like that. But the point is, obviously many True Orthodox are in communion with True Orthodox that are in Russia, and they have to deal with the real brunt of this because they don't get treated well. True Orthodox in Russia get pretty bad treatment altogether. So I don't feel sympathy towards these Kremlin rubes and these World War Now people and all these wannabes that are like, oh, poor Russia is being dude, they're like bombing cities. Like, no, I don't think that's okay. And I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna be like, push your congressman to have more war. I mean, I don't even like that Randy Fine guy. He's like a super Zionist crazy. But the point is, if he's the one pointing out the obvious, I hate to say it, but there's some validity there. Let me see here. Yep. So do you have any videos on this? I'm curious about the book. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the history of True Orthodoxy on this channel, and there's other channels to do it, so on and so forth. But yeah, let me see. Video on my previous question. I'm writing a book up, basically kind of like a global treatment, and it's almost done. It should be done very soon. Father Joseph Swin, did you see the preview for the new documentary that Etna's putting out about the Bulgarian GOC? Yes, and actually, that's going to be a lot shorter than the Andrei interview, so I think I might actually just play it. Give me just a second. Let me see. I've had government agents break up and sow insurgency in churches where I lived in the USA. Yeah, and they 100% will do that. That's not uncommon. Unfortunately, that's part of the history of the United States, and that's because churches can often be manipulated for foreign ends. But also sometimes liberal governments will come in, like they did with the Tradcast churches a couple of years ago with the Biden administration, because they're anti-abortion. So, one thing, the state is intimately aware that churches represent the feelings and the beliefs of the people around them. So they want to know as much as possible. So none of this surprises me. And if you hear about government, in church. It just happens. So, we got to deal with it. But let me go to the YouTube, and I will look for, I assume it is St. Photios Seminary, because I think they're the ones who are putting out a lot of this high quality stuff. And yep, there we go. And no, we don't want to start until I have it on the screen. And so then, all right, I am now adding a level of technical expertise. I am going to move the tab, and I am going to do the things in the tab so that I can get this visible on the screen. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make it full screen there. And the second thing I'm going to do is move back here and share it. So you see here, and we're going to put it on a new trailer from St. Photios Seminary Press and Films. And this is for about the persecution of Bulgaria. So let's get to it, and then we'll get to that Archbishop Andrei interview. And let's begin.
Сега ще ви срещна с духовния водач на старостилците, триадитския митрополит Фотий. Това е неговото първо телевизионно интервю след решението на върховните магистрати.
Our registration became widely known. It sparkled immense anger from the patriarchate, official church in Bulgaria.
Разрешаването на регистрацията на втора църква, която съдържа в името си православна, е заплаха за националната сигурност.
We expect now the state to take measures to terminate and deprive the community from its registration. The state of Orthodoxy is not taking a positive direction.
Христос воскресе! Воистину воскресе!
Our very nation exists because of the Orthodoxy. There is no Orthodoxy, there is no Bulgaria.
След всяко страдание ни очаква светлината на Пасхата. Ние сме призвани да повярваме. Отвъдният свят ще отмие всичко скръбно.
Whoa. Okay. Well, hey, I guess, I will say that was a very nice trailer. It looks like it's going to be a really informative and interesting film. And it comes out this spring. So we've got stuff, there's stuff lining up. There are things going on. Let us see here. Let's see where we got going. Barnold Jenkins says, Father Joseph, I've been orthobromaxing. Okay, well now it's Great Lent maxing time. Dr. Compromise says, what's orthobromaxing? Red Conquista says, I don't see anything but World Orthodox churches in Lima, Peru. I found something of a group called Belarusian Slava. Again, I can't make any recommendations. I made a semi-recommendation, which isn't much, and I don't even know where those churches would be listed, but I can't recommend going to a World Orthodox church. I'm sorry. Little Wing with a member chat says Barnold. Yes, we haven't seen Barnold in a while, so. Somehow, sometimes, Judy says, thinking of visiting a monastery. What should I do before the visit? Call in advance. Write in advance. Call in advance. Give advance notice somehow. Do not just walk in. That is the biggest mistake people make when they go to monasteries. The word monastery comes, it comes from the word monachos in Greek, which is one, alone. The whole point is monks are away from the world, so showing up from the world uninvited is just the worst thing people can do, so don't do that. Matt Walsh, Debt to Compromise says, Matt Walsh is now saying abortion is only wrong when they know it's murder. Well, that's an interesting way of looking at things. So if you don't know hacking a child up in pieces is murder, then it's okay. Yeah, that doesn't work. Great Bab says, is Matt Walsh working for Ben Shapiro? Well, he's working for the Daily Wire, which is ostensibly owned by Ben Shapiro, but I don't know how much he works for him or if he has ownership, etc. Orthodox Traditionalist says, guarantee the surgeonist John Whiteford won't say a word about this persecution. Obviously, he's chosen his side. He's not going to go as an outspoken, advocate for the Bulgarian True Orthodox. I mean, let's be honest. Let me see here. Orthodox Traditionalist says, if you're asking about GOC parishes in Central and South America, send a message. I can send a text to Bishop Maximus, who lives down there. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Well, Bishop Maximus, if I remember correctly, I forget if he's in Colombia or he's in Guatemala. But the point is, Peru's like all the way on the west side of South America. And I don't think there's one. If there was, that's good. But I'm not sure that there is. But like, say, for example, traveling from Peru to, say, Guatemala or Colombia is prohibitive. It would be like traveling from Eastern to Western Europe, or I don't even want to say Eastern to Western America because that's cheap because it's all one country. But the point is, it's a little trickier in South America. That's in some ways it's closer to a European federation than it is to our American states. Debt to Compromise says, Matt Walsh, the pro-life argument is simply this: it is always wrong to intentionally kill innocent human children. Well, yeah, that's correct. So what's the issue? I don't know. Let me see here. As for the weird thumbnail choice, first off, we had Orthodox Ethos liking a debate challenge to us last month, and this month, or I should say this past week and a half or so, I had what I should refer to as, I'm gonna put it in as a, I'm gonna put it in as a banner before I start talking about this one. So give me a second while I put in a banner. Okay, I can replace this one. The annual Okay, there it is. The annual Monophysite Debate Me Bro Challenge. This has now happened, I believe this is the third year of Monophysites wanting to challenge me to a debate on the internet. And every single time it ends precisely this way. So we get into this topic or that topic. One of us says, ooh, something scary. And then the Monophysite Debate Me Bro Challenge begins. Where they start asking me to go on one of their channels to debate them. And so basically what ends up happening is I don't agree. First off, because most lay Monophysite apologists are liars. They don't like addressing the truth of the reality of their involvement in the ecumenical movement, so on and so forth. They don't want to address it. So what we did, myself and Vladika Enoch, when he was more involved a couple of years ago about this, is we agreed that we would debate them if that we were debating their clergy, because clergy are accountable. Clergy have to be accountable to the teachings of their bishops. So if we were to debate clergy, we could ask questions about their involvement in the ecumenical movement, so on and so forth. And their clergy would have to answer. And they know that their clergy would have to answer, and their clergy know that their clergy would have to answer. So then they stop talking. They just drop off the face of the earth, or at least the face of my earth, and they're just gone. And so that happened like 2 years ago. Then it happened last year again. We said, okay, just get your clergy and we will have this debate. Disappeared. And this year it happened again, just this past week. And I said, I am waiting for your clergy. They said, we'll DM you the details. I said, make it public. And I haven't heard back past them for a week. So the annual Monophysite Debate Me Bro Challenge rests once again. It's 3 for Sweden, 0 for Monophysites. And that's where we're with that. So, okay. Let's see what else we got. Tom Cutsafanis, thank you so much with a $13.99 super sticker. It's Canadian, but it still counts. And I had to make that joke. And we got to update this because first off, we didn't even add in Reconquista's donation, which we have to do. So we put in the Reconquista $10 donation along with Tom Cutsafanis, $13.99. We are off to an amazing start, and we haven't even started the Andrei discussion yet. So thank you, Tom, for helping keep the lights on. Very important. Super chats and stickers. During the beginning of the month, I'm always like, well, we could use more fluid money, but they do help because what they do is they help pay the bills. So as I mentioned, donations were low last week, so our super chat money is coming in from last month. At about $280, which is about $30 to $40 short of what we need to pay all the bills. But these super stickers do help. So if you want to do super chats, super stickers, be my guest because we can use it. And now the goal is down to 256. Remember, if we get to 75% of the goal, which means $225, and we get the goal down to 75, we continue on until 11. And if we break the goal of 300, we will go till 11:30. So now we can put this in as the goal is now at 256. And the current is 44. Thank you for helping keep the lights on, Tom. And thank you to those who donate. Very much appreciated. This is LOL. He said, Orthodox Traditionalist says he's in Guatemala. He knows all the communities down there. Okay. I'll take your word. Latin Boy 305, same St. Photius channel under the category Live the Life, the Character, Outlook of St. Chrysostomus of Florida, concerns the judgment regarding new calendar, last 17 minutes. Very true. Let's take a look here. Barnold Jenkins asked, do you know Archbishop Gregory of Colorado? I did, unfortunately. For a very short period when I was in ROAC in 2004, and then I went to Russia, so I was safe. And then, but yeah, that short period in 2004 was pretty traumatic. Yes, he is a schismatic. Gregory of Colorado is a schismatic from everybody in True Orthodoxy. Like there are no True Orthodox that recognize Gregory of Colorado. So I highly recommend staying away from Gregory, Colorado. Again, I should mention this is a live Q&A broadcast. We have a lot of people here so far. We got over 50 people watching. If you want to jump on the stream to ask a question, make a comment, just click the link in the top of the chat. Just do it and ask your question, make your comment, issue your challenge, throw down the gauntlet or something. Okay. And again, cafe time. If you're trying to get registered for the Euphrosynos Cafe, let us know in the comments. All right, people have been waiting. I know they're waiting. I know what they're waiting for. They're waiting for the Archbishop Andrei interview that caused so much scandal that they shut off the comments. Let's see if we can find it. Yep, found it on the first try at St. Dimitri of Rostov Orthodox Church. We're going to do this. I have not actually seen this. So I'm going to assume he's going to talk slow. So I'm going to put him at 1.25. Clearly, this was not like an impromptu interview. It was obviously planned. So they have it set up as they do. And we're going to put it on. Let's do this. And let's find out why this is so controversial. I'm starting at 1.5. And if he's incomprehensible, I will move him to 1.25. So let's Let's find out. Here we go.
Alrighty, so the first question that I have is kind of the start to your life, how you ended up in Orthodoxy to begin with, and how you later on came into real life and the story behind that.
Okay, well, I was brought up a Roman Catholic in a Roman Catholic family. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. I lived with them, off and on different times. My grandfather was a third order Franciscan. That means he was a member of the Franciscan order. The first order is priests, second order is nuns, and the third order is lay people that were married, but they were part of the Franciscan order. As such, he had a rule of prayer, which he did every night, and he always was reading about church things. And in those days, they had brochures in the back of the churches about different topics, and that's pretty much all he read about and talked about. I decided to become a priest when I was 6 years old. My grandmother made little vestments for me. She bought oyster crackers and Welch's grape juice so I could play mass.
Okay, that's all weird. But anyway, let me see here what we got. Reconquista says Father Israel armed the cartels in Mexico, sold them weapons. Doesn't surprise me. Their president's name is what? Orthodox Traditionalist is already bored. Orthodox Field says the Juicy starts 1 hour and 23 minutes. Welcome, Reader John.
Father bless.
May God bless you in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right, so apparently go ahead.
Forgive me a sinner.
Oh, may God forgive me a sinner. Okay, so we're getting to this is 2 hours and 16 minutes long. 2 hours and 16 minutes long. Okay, first off, Raphael, may God bless you in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Nika Svetsis says, what are your thoughts on the Matthewites? I love the Matthewites. I have family who are Matthewites. Matthewites are the best. Well, the best Matthewites. I love the best Matthewites. So there you go. I have no problem with Matthewites. Great. Some of them are great, really great people. Yes, there's occasional crazies, but those exist everywhere. Barnold Jenkins says, nice beard. Well, thank you. Or you met his beard. You probably met his beard, but that's fine. I'll take it. Is there a link for this interview? Yes, there is. Let me go get it. Copy video URL. And I will put this in here. So now apparently the juicy part starts 1 hour and 23 minutes in. And as you know, Reader John, being a long time help with this, if we can find a way to skip massive amounts of stuff, we do that because let's get right to the juicy.
Get to the meat.
Let's get started at the.
We can't meet.
Oh yeah, we this isn't meat. We're getting right to the shrimp. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we're skipping right to it. We're going there. Shed the light. We're going.
England and in countries like Australia or places like that are dependent on the English culture, that they wear the wedding band on the left hand. Most people in the
Oh, by the way, this is at 1.5, so it sounds totally normal to me, which should tell you how slow this is really going.
world wear the wedding band on the right hand. But in our Trebnik, which is the book the priest reads the marriage ceremony from, it specifically says the right hand.
I just found that interesting. I know some people might not know that, so I'd include that in there. And the last thing I have is if you could just give a message to the lay people in the South, just of any advice or.
Yeah, most of our young people in the United States now, they were brought in through the influence of Father Mark down in Louisiana, through that parish down there.
Yeah.
Father Mark originally approached me 20 years ago because he belonged to some obscure, off-the-wall, supposedly Orthodox group, which wasn't. It was like a vagabond, vagante group. He was worried that he wasn't in the real Orthodox Church, and I spoke to him for about a year or so, answering his questions, and finally he decided to invite me to come down and get a good look at the situation, talk to this Bishop Joseph that he was with at the time. And I did. I came down, looked around. I did talk to them. He wanted to know what they would have to do in order to be accepted into our church. I told them. I told this Bishop Joseph, who was married, I said, you cannot be a married bishop in the Orthodox Church. You might be permitted to come over and be a married priest, but not a married bishop. So he was, I think, amenable to that, but his wife was not. And then they started persecuting Father Mark because he was more interested in coming to our church than staying with them. I told him what had to be done. He had to be baptized.
I like the
he had to be
subtle music
ordained,
in the
everything all
background
over again, because the group that he was with is not in the Orthodox Church. And he accepted all that. he started building his own parish there in his garage. And I would say he did a good job for 20 years. He made his own investments, painted his own icons, built his own church.
He really
put his
did
own
build
books
it from the
together.
ground up.
He did an admirable job because they wanted to belong to a real Orthodox church. They came looking for us. They wanted to be part of the Russian Orthodox Church,
Okay.
the real Russian Orthodox Church.
Okay.
Our church in Russia is mostly made up of people who are still in the catacombs. They never came out of the catacombs. About 2/3 of our people are still in the catacombs. We have about 100 parishes. We used to have more like 200, but over the last 20 years, many of them have disappeared, either because people died or because the government persecuted the priests and they didn't have the stomach for it and they went back to the MP. We still have about 100 parishes openly operating, but most of the people that we have are still in the catacombs. And Father Mark wanted to be in our church. And so
it's worth noting that I don't know why he's now spent like 5 to 10 minutes describing Father Mark as wanting to be in his church when he's already been part of his church at this point for a while. So this is kind of silly how he's kind of like implying he's not really there yet, which
He's
is
trying to validate a premise.
Yeah.
Even though they don't speak Russian or anything, he did everything I asked him to do, so I gave him his chance.
Gave him his chance.
But as time went by,
he was your priest for 20 years, guy.
He took on this sort of anti-Russian prejudice against us. He did not seem interested in learning anything in Russian, doing things the Russian way, understanding our people, our church. He kept saying things like, I shouldn't have to learn anything in Russian.
He was a convert priest, and it was an entirely convert community. There is no reason for Russification, just like, Bishop Andrei's name was McLaughlin before he changed it to Maklakov.
He's a Russophile. I got you.
Yeah, so this is ridiculous. I just can't. But we'll continue.
He wants to do everything in English and find customs that are not customs of our Russian Orthodox Church. So he's not trying to fit in with us. He's trying to make.
I don't know. Last I checked, when St. Tikhon was running the American mission, he did commission that whole English book that became the Hapgood. So I don't know.
You can't mention facts like that, Father.
Facts are very.
Facts get in the way of opinions. Come on.
Yeah. Let's see how bad this gets. I will read some comments because they're popping up. Let's get to that. Let's see here. What do we? I think Lindorfer says. I think he says in the interview that the GOC never had communion with the Row Corps or something stupid. Oh, well, he's definitely saying something stupid. We haven't gotten to the GOC part yet, but. And then years later, he started persecuting Father Mark because he didn't want to be part of your name worshiping heresy. LOL from Orthodox traditionalists. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Barnold Jenkins says, "Hi, Reader John."
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Let's see. Shed the Light says him saying that people are coming to the Rock because it's Russian, nothing about because of Orthodoxy. Yeah, that's insane. The main attraction for true Orthodox in America is converts finding out they're being lied to in world Orthodoxy, not because like we're better at being nashi. Orthodox.
Nashi.
That's a real expression. Nashi.
I know it is.
Hours. Nashi.
I've just never heard it. Okay, no worries.
I saw it in the old Usenet group. Some people would immediately say nashi, and everyone knew what they were talking about. So,
oh my goodness.
Orthodox traditionalist says Father Mark fits in great with us. Take some vitamin C, Reader John. I'm nose dripping and I'm trying to hide it, and I have my cloth thing.
Vitamin C doesn't
microfiber.
Vitamin C doesn't help with pleural effusion. Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right.
Orthodox traditionalist says Father Mark is great with us. Shihan Temple. Father Mark says maybe because we're Americans. Yeah, you think?
America. How dare you put facts in front of his opinions?
How dare you? On this program?
No, never.
Lindorfer says the Father Mark doesn't care about ecumenism, which is a lie. Wow. Okay, that is a lie. Patristic Witness says, as did St. Raphael of Brooklyn. Christos Voskres says, is he even an ethnic Russian? I think I covered that.
No.
His name was, McLaughlin.
He's Scotch-Irish. Come on.
Yeah, and then he changed his name in the 70s when he was in the World War. He Russified it because I guess there were Irish soldiers in Russia or something at one point, and they Russified so they could live there and get married or whatever it was.
All right.
But yeah. So
I want you guys to keep something in mind too, is that every time you hear a lie, just remember that a bishop is held to a very high standard and will have to stand before God.
That's correct. Shed the Light 14 says ethnophilicism, but that doesn't even make sense if you're not the same ethnos. If you can't do ethnophilitism if you're like a Russian wannabe. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but if you're not actually been Russian,
just listen out for the lies, kids.
Yeah. Barnold says, has anyone been baptized in an airplane? I would not know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen. Yeah. It was an emergency.
Like fonts in airplanes?
No, it was emergency baptism.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like they had like a plane with a font in it.
No. I don't think so. Now that I'm aware of.
Somehow, sometimes too says, thanks for the guidance. I'll write a letter first. First time going into great fast. Excited. Good night and blessed Lent to all. Prayers for your success. Glad you have a blessed struggle. And let's see. Father, do I make a list of the sins I've committed before I looked into Orthodoxy? Or would baptism just wash that all of that away? And this is a fun answer I always like to give. Ask your priest. Because different priests have different ways of dealing with it. I myself have dealt with it with different people different ways. So, yeah. I can't answer that. Best thing
mileage may vary.
Father Boniface, welcome.
Benedicite.
Benedicite. All right. The gang is all here, folks.
Father, I have to ask for your forgiveness. I was very troubled to hear that you switched to iPhone.
Wait, what?
It was a gift.
Okay.
It was a gift.
It doesn't count if it's free. iPhones only count if you pay for them. Okay, so let's get back to this and see how this goes. It's pretty bad so far. Yeah. I'm glad I skipped that first hour and 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. Father Mark says, I told him when I first came into Rock I had no intention of learning Russian, and he said that was not a problem or a requirement. Okay,
Father Mark, stay here because we need facts. Okay?
Yeah, we need you to fact check this video.
Yeah, we need live fact checking.
Our church bends to his way of thinking, which I think finally led him to his decision of late to leave us all together and go to the GOCK, which is where he went.
I really love the music.
He didn't really give a good reason for why he
was. All right, pause it.
From what I can tell, it boils down to
pause it.
His thinking that
what?
All right, let's do a live fact check. Did he give a really good reason? He doesn't. Father Mark. He just said Father Mark did not give a good reason for transferring.
Yeah. Shed the Light 14. His main reader changed his name to. Yeah, I know. I think you're talking. There is a difference though, because remember that if from my I don't know that I would. It's not. I wouldn't say it's them. I mean, it can kind of be the same, but the whole point is that one thing I have heard, because I know who Shed the Light is talking about. It's talking about Reader Sava. But Reader Sava is a convert, and he did change his baptismal name, completely normal. The question of Serbian ancestry, as opposed to faking the whole thing, as I understand it from Reader Sava, he is partly ethnically Serbian, and that is, at least ancestrally, his name. Our Metropolitan Seraphim Motovilov in Moscow did the same. Because he had an connection to the name by family. So I would say that in some ways, Reader Sava is actually better off than Bishop Andrei, but I'm not going there. Let me see. Shihan Temple, Father Mark says, I did give a reason to him in person. There's no chance you can come on and like live critique this, because that would be awesome.
No, don't give us the reason, but I wanted to see if he did give a good reason.
Oh yeah, he wrote a letter to him. It was like a
that's what I thought.
Letter. Yeah. And Orthodox priest says he didn't give a good reason. It's a 3-page explanation of exactly.
That's what I was going to say. I thought it was a letter.
Yeah, there were letters going back and forth. Barnold says, "When are you becoming a bishop, Father Joseph? God willing, never. I'm happily married, and hopefully my wife outlives me by."
He was not that Bishop Joseph. That was not him.
Oh yeah, there was a Bishop Joseph. Yeah, I have no idea who that guy was. It wasn't me, but anyway. All right, so let's continue on.
Have severe dementia. He even said that he would only stay if I would be replaced by the synod with another bishop, and that I had to go see a psychiatrist of his choosing before he would deign to stay in our church. But I told him that most.
Let's replay that because that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
his thinking that I have severe dementia. He even said that he would only stay if I would be replaced by the synod with another bishop, and that I had to go see a psychiatrist of his choosing.
What?
All right, Father Mark, true or false?
Father Mark, is this true that you said he has to go to a psychiatrist of your choosing? Because I mean that sounds kind of crazy. No, Father Mark, yeah, I know, but it's his pre-baptismal name. I mean, his baptismal name is Sava, so at least he's Sava Brunson, and his family name, as I understand it, he's changing that. So, I can't address that. But what you can address is this claim of Bishop Andrei that you demanded that he see a psychiatrist of your choosing, which sounds really hard to believe.
You don't have to get details, just true or false.
Yeah, you can. True or false. That works. I guess, should we continue playing while we wait? Because
just keep playing.
Okay, let's do that.
Deign to stay in our church. But I told him that most of the young people coming to his church are people that
Father Mark, he'll get free posting here because of this, and he says I made no such stipulations. So that is correct. False.
So 2 lies. All right, let's go.
Our church on the websites and on the internet, and they came to him because he was the closest priest of Roak to them. They wanted to be in the Russian church. Okay, they're Americans, they don't speak Russian or anything, but they're not against being with the Russian church. The Russian church outside of Russia, which is the church that I joined with Metropolitan Philaret and Bishop Gregory and so on, was well respected by the Orthodox people of that time in the world. It was considered to be the most legitimate, true, old calendarist Russian Orthodox church. All the Greeks in Greece and in other countries, Romanians, Serbians, if they wanted to find a real Orthodox episcopacy, as opposed to their ecumenical, new calendarist, modernistic groups that they were having to deal with, they would appeal to the Roak Church. And that's how our Roak Church got started, as part of the Roak Church. So we're sort of a continuation of that. But it seems to me that our position was a little bit too strict for him. He wants to be more open-minded.
All right, I got to.
I'm going to ask for an OTP fact check on that. Is the Roak the continuation of Rokor?
Yeah, the Roak is technically not a continuation of
I was about to say,
can answer that.
He's being loosey-goosey with history.
Yeah, because that actually, the Roak comes from the Free Russian Orthodox Church, which was formed by Rokor, but it was not Rokor, and that was one of the reasons they broke off, is because they didn't feel like Rokor could govern them in Russia. It didn't make sense. So it is not. Most people come here not knowing anything about Orthodox. They didn't care about Russian stuff. That is what Father Mark is saying here. Orthodox Christian says it is not. Barnold Jenkins says, how many years do we have left before World War III? Some could argue that we've been having World War III for the past 10 years. And Bracken Keith says, has anyone heard about the Belarusian Autocephalous Orthodox Church? That was, I think, given. It was a small church that was kind of given sanctioned by Constantinople. It's not true Orthodox, and it kind of fell apart on its own because Belarus is a Soviet state. That was kind of taken apart. But this claim that suddenly he's like, but Father Mark couldn't accept our thinking. Father Mark was our priest for 20 years. So this idea,
it's not a fly. He's not a fly-by-night priest. It's
not like he's like, I suddenly disagree. This is made up. He's trying to make it sound like Father Mark joined a month ago and left last week. So let's continue on.
He wants to be in communion with larger groups of people. He doesn't seem to think that ecumenism is the horrible thing that we think it is.
Wow!
That's a big claim.
Did Father Mark soften up on ecumenism? Let's fact check it, and we shall wait while we do that. See what he says. I'm pretty confident I know what he's going to say.
And so he's gone off to this group, which has a softer approach, I guess you could say.
A softer approach?
But the GOCK, I've known about them for many, many years. Metropolitan Philaret and Bishop Gregory did not accept the GOC It wasn't called GOCK back then. It was just called the GOC. They did.
I beg to differ, Bishop.
Wow.
Andrei. I beg to differ. If I remember, Bishop Gregory Grabe in his dubious ecclesiology of Metropolitan Cyprian's group directly asks, why didn't the ROCOR go into communion with the GOC, and lists the number of bishops. Clearly, he was talking about the GOC under Archbishop Chrysostom Chiusis at the time, which is the GOC Kalinikos. So that is false. Lindorfer says, lie. Orthodox Field says, that's slander. And Father Mark says, I can't be more against ecumenism, which means that Archbishop Andrei has failed again.
It's another falsity. Yep.
Another false statement. We can only do one thing.
Liar.
Lying. Let's continue.
Not accept them to be in communion with them. They were not antithetical. I mean, that they were nice to them and everything, but they wouldn't serve with them. They didn't consider them to be truly Orthodox. Their representative back in those days was Metropolitan Petros, who was the uncle of Paulus, and he was going to the OCA, the MP, the Greek New Calendarist Church, as well as the Old Calendarist churches. He would go everywhere, and this is exactly the thing that turned Metropolitan Philaret Bishop Gregory off concerning him.
But that's not. First off, he's getting all the times wrong. So this isn't making sense because, once again, as late as 1994, Bishop Gregory negatively comments about Metropolitan Cyprian's group and positively comments about the GOC. So that's incorrect.
I'm about to say that's outright slander, isn't it?
Little in with a member chat, I think, is summing up the feelings of a lot of people in the audience and here. This guy is horrible. Orthodox Field says, LOL. Orthodox Spiritual says, Andrei must not know we have published all of St. Philaret and Bishop Gregory's private letters showing that he's lying. Let us continue.
History is, shine some light on stuff.
Yeah.
Metropolitan Pavlos, his nephew, he became the next Archbishop of the GOC in America. And I remember when he was still in Archbishop Andrei. And I was with Father Anthony Gavalis, and we were looking for a bishop. We were looking for a church organization to belong to. He was considering the GOC. And at that time, Archbishop Andrei Pavlos gave an interview to the Kyrios Ethnikos, which means National Herald in Greek, newspaper. The reporter asked him what he thought about the Patriarch of Constantinople, and his answer was, "Oh, I love him. He's my true father. He's the true leader of Orthodoxy in the world," and things like that. And the reporter asked him, "Well, wait a minute. You're old calendars, he's new calendars. How does that work?" And his answer was, yes, these are difficult questions. That was his answer. And I told Father Anthony at that time, if you want to go join that, go right ahead, but I'm not going to join that.
Okay, I don't know how much influence he had with future Metropolitan Anthony Gavalis. I don't totally buy it. I think Metropolitan Anthony would have been the first person who would have been shocked by that interview. It is a well-known interview. No one's denying that. This idea that Bishop Andrei or then Father Michael would have influenced Father Anthony or put his foot down, I smell a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for?
Rat.
A
rat?
I was going to go with cow manure, but
that works too.
Let me see here. Sarah from Webster says, I do know that Vladimir Andrei allegedly rebaptizes even World Orthodox who have Trinitarian baptisms and those from other true Orthodox synods whom he doesn't recognize. That's
sounds like a Gregory of Colorado move there.
Yeah, and what why that might be, Reader John?
I wonder why, Father.
I'll tell you. It's because before Father Andrei became part of ROAC proper and they made him a bishop, he was a monastic at Gregory of Colorado's Dormition Skeet for about 4 or 5 years. So,
that's interesting. You should say that, Father.
What a strange coincidence.
Yeah.
Let me see. Sarah says not sure how much validity is behind these rumors. However, maybe someone who was former ROAC under him can attest to him. Orthodox Ritual says nothing wrong with baptizing World Orthodox. Well, I mean, World Orthodox, sure, but the question is, I'm okay with chrismating people if they had proper form from World Orthodoxy. That's just me, but I realize people getting harder on that. Orthodox traditionalists, why would you rebaptize someone from World Orthodoxy on a triple immersion Trinitarian baptism?
Well, most of them are not baptized; they're chrismated. I think that's what he's getting
that's
at.
a valid point too, because a lot of World Orthodox are not received by baptism; they're received by chrismation, so they don't even have a baptism to work with. All right, let's get back to Bishop Andrei here, who looks very distraught throughout this entire interview.
I would be too if I was alive.
They give communion to new counterists all the time.
Oh, that's a lie.
So
Wait, go back.
They give communion to new counterists all the time.
False. This is something that they stopped doing because of people complaining all the way to the synod. And I want to say that was back in 1999 or 2001. Like, the implications he's making here are not real.
Would you say that was rogue priests and not sanctioned by the synod?
Would I say that what?
Would you say that was just rogue priests doing that and they were not sanctioned by the synod to do so?
Well, I wasn't part of the GOC Clinicals, but I would assume it was rogue priests.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Okay, Orthodox Traditionalist is making an argument for receiving everyone by baptism, and so Ticons of St. Philaret and Bishop Galbraith's private letters are recommended reading on the ROAC website. Not for long if this keeps up. Lindorfer says, source that we commune new calendars. I have no knowledge that anyone communes new calendars now. I don't think that's a real thing. So that might have been true 25 years ago, but it's not now.
Yeah.
It's so many times that it's not worth documenting. It's so commonplace.
So
they consider the new calendarist church to be somehow still in the Orthodox Church. That's a
lie.
That's a lie.
That's a lie. He's just lying now. Barnold says, what synod is Father Boniface part of? He's part of mine, and we have something to bring up with Father Boniface because people have been asking about seeing Western Rite liturgies, and he's recorded 2 of them. So we're going to talk about
I've recorded a bunch of them. Oh, yeah, 2. That's right. I'm thinking of the liturgy.
Right, I'm
2 now.
Just talking about masses. So, receiving even World Orthodox by chrismation is an economy. Yeah, no one denies that. Father Mark says, false. My experience with Metropolitan Demetrius has been very protective and careful with communion. So Father Bishop Andrei has once again been caught.
He's not just lying, he's slandering.
Yep.
Liar.
Anyway, let's get back to it. This is bad.
Crux of Cyprianism. Our synod condemned Cyprianism in 2008 as a kind of crypto-ecumenism.
Yeah, you kind of forced it on the synod.
And in 2014, when the GOCK went into communion, or actually absorbed the entire synod of the Cyprianites, and then lied to us that the Cyprianites had renounced their Cyprianism, they lied to us.
Well,
these 3 bishops
from a technical standpoint, they did renounce the concepts that would make Cyprianism without calling it Cyprianism, because Cyprianism wasn't really a recognized heresy in Greece. It was used as a kind of a slander, but Bishop Andrei did try to force that into the synod and eventually became an anathema in ROAC, which I said, as somebody leaving ROAC at the time, I said, this is a stupid idea. And Andrei has made lots of stupid ideas. Did Reader John, Barnold Jenkins says, did Reader John used to be with ROAC? No. Father Mark Template, who's in the chat, was with ROAC, and that's who he's mostly talking about. Orthodox Church says it's an allowance, not a mandate. Seraphim says it's actually a mandate per the dogmatic decrees of Nicaea too. So while they're arguing over baptism, I'm going to take a quick begging break, and I'm going to point out that our goal is $256. Now we currently have $44. Super stickers and super chats, PayPal, Cash App, help keep the lights on. Support us by subscribing or donating at NFTU.net with various options like PayPal, Cash App, LTC, BTC, or XMR, or on Give, Send, Go. Just look in the description. But we are trying, it's the end of the month, and we are trying desperately to complete our numbers. There are still bills to pay. There's insurance, and there's debt. We could really use the help. So whatever you can do, we appreciate it. And if you want to throw in super chats to force me to ask a question, feel free to do so. Let's continue.
Hopna, Demetrios, Moses, and Sergius were received into the GOCK by a prayer of confession. They told us that it was just a prayer of confession. It wasn't. It was a hierothesia, which is a second ordination. That's a violation of Apostolic Canon number 68.
Ugh. Okay, I have to point out again, this is like bad information. First off, a herotonia is an actual full ordination. A herotosia is basically a conditional ordination, which is to say you were ordained if you were not ordained already. It's not a second ordination. That would be another herotosia. It's a way of showing economy. So his representation of what that is just factually wrong.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
I was gonna say.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. Anonymous donation. Thank you so much. Give me 1 second here. We got an update. This is great. And this donation, this donor wants to stay anonymous, so we're just going to put A, but that is for $40.
All right.
Which means that we are now currently at $84 with just 216 left to go. Once again, a reminder, if we make it to 225 by 10:30, it's another half hour. If we make it to 300 by 10:30, we'll stay till 11:30. That's how this is going to go, folks. So let me change this up here because we are now, the goal is now down to 216.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you, Anonymous, for that one. And awesome. Thank you so much. And again, if you'd like to help out, don't forget to, go to NFTU if you want to use Cash App, PayPal, or crypto, or you can do a super chat because those help because we're low on those. This month, we were actually about $30 short last month for the bills. Hoping we're not, it looks like we're at this rate, probably close to $100 short. But in any case, God always helps us through our community here. So I have faith. But yeah, we only have 216 to go. I'll put that on the screen free because it's such a nice number. Whoa. Okay. Hold on. And another one. Sorry, Bishop Andrei. You have to wait. Another one. You got to wait, Bishop Andrei. Sorry about that. We're now up to, and we just got one from RJ. And so this is for $20. And this one was, again, this is through Cash App. And that.
So 196.
Yeah, so we're down to 196. We're getting close. As I said, if this gets down to 75 by 10:30, we'll be here till 11. If it gets down to 0, we'll be here till 11:30. But thank you, RJ. Thank you, Anonymous, for making this even closer. We're doing great so far. Anyway, and as long as you keep sending money, this guy can't keep talking. So
it's a wonderful way to start off lane as well.
He's going to start again. So if you're tired of listening to him, send money.
Close the doors. I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Close the doors.
But there's the fact. There's the canon. Canon number 68 of the Holy Apostles. Whoever receives a second ordination is to be deposed.
That's so false.
And the one who does the ordination is to be deposed.
He's so
Unless
wrong
it can be shown that the first ordination was done by heretics, because heretics cannot do ordinations or baptisms or any other sacrament.
Right, yeah.
So by leaving Hokna and going to the GOC and being received by Kirothesia, you're basically saying that the Hokna was a heretical group.
Okay.
And I don't believe Hokna is a heretical group. They were in the
because now they're name worshipers.
For 20 years. We were all together in the same roll court church for 20 years.
And then you weren't in the same roll court church for 20 years. So you're skipping 20 years.
Maybe he does have dementia.
Name worshiping. But they can't tell me what name worshiping is.
No, everyone can tell you what name worshiping is. We have like whole websites about how name worshiping is a heresy and stuff.
Like a whole synod about it.
There's been synod meetings. My synod flat out condemned it. So, if you don't know what it is, I'd be glad to give you a lesson, but I think you do. All right. Let's see how much longer.
Calm down, Father. Calm down.
I made a point of going up to visit Metropolitan Demetrius once when he asked me to come up. He wanted to talk to me about joining our churches together in one communion, and I asked him about this Cyprianism business because I was trying to figure it out for myself. What is it all about? I didn't know what the whole thing was about.
Wait, this is the guy who pushed for the anathema against Cyprianism in Roac, and then he comes up to Metropolitan Demetrius well after the Cyprianites are gone and says, I don't know what this Cyprianism is. Bro, you literally pushed the anathema itself.
Wow.
Like, who are you lying about? Come on. What is this Cyprianism? Stop it.
He couldn't answer my questions. And when I kept pressing him on it, he started to raise his voice like he was annoyed. And
I bet he was annoyed. I'm
annoyed.
And
I just changed the subject because I didn't want to have an argument with him. I was just trying to find out what's the deal with this Cyprianus.
Just trying to have an argument with him. That's all.
I think that they just use that as an excuse to leave Hochna, claiming that they were some kind of heretics. As far as the Russian church is concerned, which is where this whole controversy sort of rose.
Okay, shut up for a second, Andrei. Archbishop Andrei there. He says he's defending that because he likes Hochna, says Father Mark. I agree. That's exactly what it is. Lindorfer says they just need to get over it and join with Hochna. Well, the Russians won't go along with it, and he knows it. So it will just be
his hands are tied.
Yep. Maximus Primus with a member chat, thank you, says, where can I look into how Hochna espouses Imyaslavye? I believe the best website is on Blogspot. I believe it's called On Imyaslavye. Let me just make sure. On imyaslavye.blogspot.com. I'm going to select that, and I'm gonna put it in the chat, folks. If you don't know what Imyaslavye is, you can learn all about it. So there it is, on imyaslavye.blogspot.com. Because you are a member, Maximus Primus, you get the, we give the full answer treatment. Orthodox Traditionalist says Metropolitan Demetrius raised his voice. Yeah, right. Senator from Webster says 2012. And so there you go. That answers all those questions. So let's hear how much more interesting this answer becomes, because he's at 1.5. I know people don't believe it, but that's how slow he's really talking.
Wow.
The Russian Church, the last word on it was made in 1914 by the Synod of Moscow, and they left it unresolved. They left it for the Sabor of 1917 to resolve, and it was on the agenda, but they didn't get a chance to make a final determination about it because the revolution interfered. And as far as Metropolitan Philaret, Bishop Gregory, Archbishop Averki, Archbishop Seraphim of Chicago, many others, as far as they were concerned, this name worshiping thing is unresolved.
But what he fails to mention is that among these holy hierarchs, it was still considered a heresy. So, Bishop Father Boniface, you came in a little bit later on this. What's your take on Archbishop Andrei's how do I put this? Interesting interview so far.
I would say be sure your sins will find you out. It's just amazing how an elder can be doing this kind of stuff. So
crazy stuff. All right, let's get back to him and keep the liometer going. I mean, I hate to say that, it sounds disrespectful, but if he was respecting, like, I don't know, the truth, I kind of.
Well, like I said at the beginning, listen to the lies and then remember he has to stand before the judgment of God.
Yep.
And he's coming up closer to it than others.
Yeah, that's true. I forget how old he is, but yeah.
And it's not a basis for schismatic, separation. I don't understand. For example, they say that it's a heresy to glorify the name of God, and yet we do that all the time in the services.
That's not what we mean. You know that. Come on, stop. He's being disingenuous.
It's not a real reason. I think they just had some kind of a conflict with the hierarchy of the Hochna, and they wanted out, and they wanted to join a larger group, the JOC, and they just used this as a heresy to justify their leaving Hochna without a blessing. And it's not a heresy.
Once again, reminder.
It's never been declared a heresy by any legitimate synod.
If you don't know, you can learn.
So he's defending his practice of the
name worship
of the idea.
But here's the funny part. Now, somebody noticed that they were like, "What? This is 1.5." I thought this was normal speed all the time. He just had like a 5-second pause at 1.5. So there was like 10 seconds of pause here. So yeah, he is talking really slow, and I'm not subjecting my viewers to this. Isn't it World Orthodox who likewise say we can't consider ecumenism a heresy because it's unresolved and no synod has anathematized it? You're absolutely right, Seraphim. My Father Mark says, so much for that gag order Suzdal said concerning name worshiping. I was told about. Yeah, I think that was even in my time. I think that was around 2005, and that was before they excommunicated and deposed Laurier. So you didn't misremember there, Father Mark. Let's continue.
They're so assiduous on this issue, but then you ask them about the violation of canon numbers, apostolic canon number 68. That doesn't matter to them. Why does this so-called heresy, which isn't a heresy, so important to them, but canon 68 is not? What about canon 31? They took a priest from me They took a priest from me without a letter of recommendation, without a letter of release. That's a violation of an apostolic.
Bro, you suspended him.
What?
Of course, he didn't get a recommendation. He gave you the most clear attempt to ask for a release, and your response was to immediately suspend him, to go after his name, to encourage the formation of a rival mission. Like, come on, you can't apply the canon that way and expect it.
That's disingenuous, actually.
Yeah, this is disingenuous to begin with.
Apostolic canon. Are they going to say that our church is heretical and they didn't need a letter of release?
Maybe maybe not the whole Senate, just you. But because I don't hear
time will tell.
I don't hear Metropolitan Theodore or Metropolitan or Bishop Renarks talking at great length about name worshiping. They don't do that. It's just you. So we'll see. Share the Light 14 says Metropolitan Demetrius is the most calm and composed person I ever met. I had a personal conversation with him. I could not imagine him raising his voice. Orthodox Ritual says he's a public preaching heretic. He didn't need one. Orthodox equals truth from Shed the Light 14. So let's continue on. Hold on. Let me take this off the screen. We are trying to get to that goal to help pay the bills. So whatever you can do, please do. Let's continue on.
That is what they're saying. But if that's true, then why did they receive Father Mark without reordaining him and without re-baptizing him? Canon 68 says, whoever receives a second ordination is to be deposed unless it can be shown that the first ordination was done by heretics. Because
I'm starting to see why they shut off the comments to this video. Sarah from Webster asks, how did Father John Copeland end up in the ROAC from the GOC? Did he receive a canonical release to serve under Archbishop Andrei? No, he didn't. So, this is all massive hypocrisy, considering he received Father John Copeland like 4 months before. So, Lindorfer says, I think he requested to be made a layman. Well, that's kind of what happened. If you kind of know, like from Father John's description, he basically said that he kind of was implying that he wanted to be made a layman. So they basically retired him in the GOC, figuring he didn't want to do anything anymore. But then I guess he was talking to Archbishop Andrei this whole time. And then he turns around and says, well, this isn't canonical. You can't just retire me. And so, Metropolitan Demetrius wrote the synod and said, what do I do? And so they deposed him. It sounded like that's what he wanted. And then he got mad and he's like, that's not what I wanted. What did you want, sir? Well, I think the answer was clear. He wanted to just go under Archbishop Andrei because Archbishop Andrei was for name worshiping and Father John Copeland seemed to be semi for name worshiping. So let's continue on.
Do ordinations or baptisms. So if they take a priest from me, claiming that he was never properly ordained or baptized because he was coming from a heretical group, why did they take him in without baptizing him and ordaining him?
I think that's a question that we would also have for Father John Copeland, because you did the exact same thing.
Isn't that the very essence of Cyprianism?
What? Wait. Did anyone notice the jump there?
Yeah, see how he twisted his logic there?
And then he's like, is this the essence of Cyprianism? I'm like, wait, what are you talking about with Cyprianism? What?
Then he's implying that he's a new calendarist. That doesn't even make sense.
Awful. ROAC, complexity and nuance for me, but not for the... Well, it's not ROAC. I don't blame ROAC. I blame Archbishop Andrei. Anyway, so that's about it. So, let's continue.
As a moot point, doesn't exist anymore, and it never really existed anyway. They're lying. They're lying to us, and they're lying to themselves. And they're lying to all
somebody's lying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think God has given us all a free will. Who am I to take it away from anybody?
What?
You want to come?
Okay. How much more do we have? This is 140. This is 36 minutes more. Guys, it's already 9:53. Andrei has taken up so much of this that unfortunately we got to catch up. I mean, once again, help keep the lights on. Support us by subscribing or donating at NFTU.net with various options like PayPal, Cash App, BTC, LTC, or XMR, or on Give, Send, Go. Look in the description. We are currently trying to get the goal down to $75, and we are at $196 because our current donos are $104. Thank you so much for everyone who helped. If we can get this going in the next half hour, if we can get this up, and we just have, honestly, about 125 to go, 121 to go if we're being technical. And then we can keep going till 11 or even till 11:30 if we make the $300 goal. So God willing, we can do that. Isn't Cyprianism the guy that died with his mouth open? That's Metropolitan Cyprian. That is who it was. But there's lots of reasons for that happening, and I don't care what Gregory of Colorado thinks. Remember, he was in a feeding tube the last 6 years of his life.
That's not unusual to have that
Yeah.
happen when you die like that.
Yeah. Sarah from Webster asks, is the Synod of Roac aware of his actions, and are they implicit in it?
They are complicit unless they take care of it.
Yeah, or is there some disconnect between him and the rest of the Synod of the Roac? From what I understood, the Synod of the Roac basically said that we've already taken care of this. There will be no further discussion on name worshiping, and we are sticking with the position of St. Tikhon in 1913. Andrei came out with a parallel statement that sounded almost like it, but with modifications. So my feeling is that they are starting to get some information of what's happening in America and trying to react to it as best they can. And Archbishop Andrei is doing what, I hate to say it, what name worshipers always do, which is to be sneaky and snaky and kind of imply legal things that are not there, Let's see.
Then they become a Gregory of Colorado.
Yep. Debt to compromise says that's been addressed 1,000 times. It's a red herring. Stephanie says maybe he does have dementia. Definitely delusional.
See, I'm not.
Well, there's been the hint of that in that he forgets things and so on and so forth. But this
20 years.
This to me, I'm sorry. I'm watching this and I don't see a man with dementia. And what I mean by that is this seems intentional. This seems genuinely intentional.
That's fair.
Let me see here. Father Mark says, I emailed Suzdal and explained everything as well as I could, but heard nothing back. Stephanie says, once perception becomes a reality. That's true. Okay, maybe that is a fair argument on the pro-dementia side, but again, I don't know. All right, let's see how long we're going with this. Again, we have exactly 34 minutes to get to $75 to keep this going, or we're going to be stopping early. I hope we don't, because this looks interesting and it looks like we're having an interesting time. But that's all we have to get to paying the bills, and then I will stay for a half hour. If we clear the total, I will stay for the full hour. But we'll see. Okay, let's continue.
To our church, fine, I'll help you. You want to leave? Fine, bye-bye. It's up to you. There are consequences, though.
Yeah.
To your actions.
Yeah.
And when Father Mark first joined our church 20 years ago, he didn't ask me about what our relationship was with the GOC. He didn't mention them at all.
Wait, hold on.
He was quite
Is
happy.
that true, Father?
What?
So why
wait, hold on. Maybe
I was going to say, is that true, Father Mark?
Give me a second. Yeah, we got to get Father Mark to fact check that. Hold on. Reconquista, while we're waiting, Reconquista says, does anyone watch Moses the Black? No, and I've tried. It's not anywhere around. We're just going to have to wait till one of these streaming sites manages to get it up, and then we'll be able to watch and review it. But I haven't been able to, and my guess is it'll be a while before it makes the streaming sites. Let me see here. What's this?
I've heard it's no Saint Nectarius movie.
Well, that. I mean, it's hard.
That's hard to top, man of God.
That was a really, really good movie. Like potentially divinely inspired movie. Hold on. Let me see here. So yeah, Shed the Light says, so he's accusing the GOC of Cyprianism, yet practice the same thing in his own parish by allowing GOC lay people, Hakna lay people, and others to commune in the Roac. I mean, can't argue with that. That's if that was happening, that's factually true, and he changed his mind later. Well.
How dare you introduce facts to his opinions?
And then Father Mark says, no, I have asked him about other true Orthodox periodically for 20 years. So it sounds like we have...
Liar.
All right, let's... Oh, okay, it's not that. Okay, let's continue on.
All of a sudden, a prerequisite for staying in our church, if we recognize the GOC or not. Or any other church for that matter. He seemed to be very upset because I couldn't say what other synod we were in communion with, that we recognize as being Orthodox. But then neither can his new bishop, right? He says the same thing that I said.
Well, no, I think that's factually incorrect. I'm pretty sure Metropolitan Demetrius would gladly say who he's in communion with because he's actually in formal communion with a number of jurisdictions all over the world. So it's not the same. ROAC has kind of had that kind of informal recognition of other true Orthodox for years. I still remember that one of the priests that I was a translator for, he was in the Milan Synod way back when it existed, and Bishop, Metropolitan Valentine was like Metropolitan of Logios. Oh yeah, that's fine. So the fact that he's Archbishop Andrei has reduced it down to like Hakna and I don't know, a couple of name worshippers and in I don't know where, but it's just this is not a real comparison.
Yeah, in this recent interview with Subdeacon Nectarios. Now, something else while we're on this topic, I want to bring up. If you're not comfortable in answering it, just say so. There was a claim made by him that he's always let me commune these GOCK people. Who are the people that you have given a blessing to, not only with the GOCK, but obviously, Augustine coming from the GOCM, and I think Zoe with Hoffman. Who are the people that you specifically given a blessing to, and the others? Well, yeah, the only people that you've given a blessing to take communion at St. Peter's, outside of Rome.
Yeah, I gave permission for Timothy 20 years ago when Father Mark was just getting started. He introduced me to this Timothy. Timothy had a very sort of pitiful situation there with his mother and his aunt and his house and his job and his health and everything. He didn't have a place to go to church. He impressed me as being a nice, pious young fella, interested in the faith and well educated and so on. And this was before they joined up with the Cyprianites. And so I gave permission for Timothy to receive communion in our parish as a sort of an economia or a condescension to his state. Father Mark believed, as he told me, that if we would be lenient with Timothy on this, that he believed that Timothy would eventually become one of the members of our parish. And so I gave him permission. That does not mean that I gave a blanket permission for everybody in the GOC to take communion in our church. He says that
man, I would love for Father Mark to address that one.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's more straightforward than what he's presenting.
Yeah, and I have a feeling it's a lot more people. It's not just one. And more importantly, I mean, the question is if you recognize the orthodoxy of the other person, so as a condescension, you allow communion, that has implications. Like you can't just do that as a courtesy for, say, a new calendarist, etc. And Bishop Andrei knows this. So this presentation is
it's a sleight of hand, isn't it?
Yeah, Debt to Compromise says, "Whoa, the fast begins." It does indeed. This is hurting. This is hurtful to listen to, but there are still approximately 34 minutes left, which means we will go over. Which means I'm not doing that. Is there anyone who's watched the whole thing? Do you know how much more I can jump, or is this the meat of the stuff? Tom Katsufana says, who is this guy? I'm trying to find him on the net. He is Archbishop Andrei of ROAC. At this point, he's getting closer to our not recommend list because of his spirited defense of things like name worshiping. Let's continue on. And maybe if I put him at one, if everyone thought he was talking normal at 1.5, like what happens if I put him at like 1.75?
All right.
Oh, there is no 1.75 rate. I gotta use.
I think you just jumped to 2.
Yeah, jump to 2. You want to go double speed?
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Let's test if he sounds like a chipmunk in 1.75, and if not, we'll go to 2.
Gave him permission to give communion to some people in the prison. The only people I gave permission for that was for people that were that belonged to the Hochna.
That's it?
Sort of a favor.
Only the Hochna people?
In Boston, because they couldn't always come down and give these people communion, and they asked if Father Mark could do that since he lived down
he sounds normal now.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. He's at 1.75.
For permission to commune people that belong to the GOC in prison.
I almost want you to turn it to normal just a little bit No, I can't. I don't know.
That'll be like slow-mo at this point.
I don't think I can.
Like it really sounds like he's just talking normal. It's terrifying.
It's something I need to show you just to verify that it's legit. But when I was talking with a ex-parishioner at St. Peter's now with the GSK, I'm not gonna name him. He sent me an email, and it was from Demetrius, not from Demetrius, but it was a letter that was signed by you stating I give Father Mark so and so permission to go commune these people from the GSK for Metropolitan Demetrius. I just wanted to bring that up because it could just be like, you you don't remember, or could it be a forged document? So that's why I need to show that to
A
you.
forged document,
I don't
really?
remember. It's not a sign that I
Yeah,
have
no,
dementia.
I'm not trying to apply that.
Because, first of all, that's not the proper way of going about doing that. Metropolitan Gregory asked me first if I would be okay with Father Mark going and giving communion to these people. Metropolitan Demetrius never contacted me to ask me the same, favor. He did not ask me, and it's not proper for Father Mark.
Is he saying that Metropolitan Gregory of Hackna expressly asked him to commune his Hackna people?
That's what it sounded like. Can you reverse that a little bit?
Yeah, but Father Mark points out, I have the letter he wrote giving me permission for GOC prisoners.
Oh.
You
can't do facts like that, Father. Come on.
This is getting juicy. So he's making up more stuff. This is
Father's
bad.
got the receipts. Uh-oh.
All right, I'm going to put him at 2.0 because somehow we have him at almost double speed and he still sounds normal. So we're gonna do. Oh, you can do 3.0.
You can do up to 4.0.
Oh boy, yeah. Orthodox Traditionalist says publish. Yeah, do it. All right, so we're at double speed, folks.
Take that upon himself to decide, or to work it out with them without getting me involved, talking to Metropolitan Demetrius.
Yes, because from what I was told, because at the time I was like, I don't think he did that. He said Demetrius reached out to Father Mark and asked him this. Father Mark was like, oh, I have to ask Bleak Andre for a blessing, and then that's where that letter comes into.
Well, I don't believe.
I was never told he reached out to you to begin with.
Yeah, well, if he did, then Father Mark should have said to Metropolitan Demetrius, you should contact Archbishop Andrei. Not Father Mark contact me, but Metropolitan Demetrius contact me, which he never did. That's the proper way of doing this kind of a thing.
Wow.
And like I said before, they lied to us that the people who used to be in the Cyprianite Synod had repented of their Cyprianism. I was under the impression that they did. I only recently found out that that was a lie. I only recently found out that these three bishops, Demetrius, Moses, and Sergius, received a second ordination. They were received into the GOC by reordination, not by rebaptism. So my question is, how can it be that they're already bishops, that their episcopal consecrations are not valid, but their baptisms are?
Well, that's the whole point of a hedothesia. But you know what I'm going to say is most amazing about this? He still sounds like he's talking normal at double speed.
But the interviewer does it.
No, the interviewer sounds like a chipmunk at this point.
Isn't that Cyprianism? How can that be? I mean, we make fun of Metropolitan Agafaniel, who says that the Moscow Patriarchate has 6 valid sacraments, and that the Roman Catholics, Old Believers, Monophysites, and some Protestants have valid sacraments, but he was sure that our church did not have valid sacraments. We make fun of him for saying that the Moscow Patriarchate can have 6 valid sacraments, but not a valid Eucharist. But what difference is there between that and them saying that the consecration of the episcopacy can be invalid, but the baptism is valid?
Well, the big difference is that Metropolitan Agafaniel was being sarcastic because clearly that sounds kind of like a joke, and that's the whole point. He does that a lot, and people often think he's serious, and if he was,
it's called facetiousness.
He'd be a literal insane person. I may not always agree with Metropolitan Agafaniel, but at least try to read the lines, man. This is wacky.
Because it all happens in the divine liturgy.
It's all the same. Either they have all the sacraments, but they don't have any of them. You can't have one sacrament and none of the others. You either have all the sacraments or you have none of them. If you have one, you have all. If you don't have one, you don't have any. That's the way it works.
He takes things too literally.
Put an anathema on Cyprianism in 2008. In 2014, this GOC went into communion. They absorbed the Cyprianite Synod, which did not, as it turns out, reject the premises of Cyprianism.
And we've already heard this. We've already heard like a lie here.
He keeps repeating it to make it sound like it's true. But
yeah,
it's not.
and he literally promoted the anathema against Cyprianism in Roac in 2008, and then he comes up to Metropolitan Demetrius playing dumb, like, "Oh, I don't understand what this Cyprianism is." Of course you do.
It's kind of deceitful.
You wrote the anathema, dude.
If that's true, that's deceitful.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I hate to say it. I'm not going there.
I decided to wait a little bit to see if that were really true. And finally, Metropolitan Theodore and I decided that we had to clamp down on this a little bit. That's our prerogative as bishops.
You
and our church.
Metropolitan Theodore.
Father Mark says that I've come to some new conclusion, some new idea, some new position. It's not a new position. 2008 is when our synod made the anathema against Cyprianism.
So would you say from the time of the union with the absorption of the union, the synod resistance, it was kind of in like a gray area as y'all were watching to see?
Not a gray area.
We never had established the communion.
Well, yes, we didn't establish communion, but it doesn't mean that just because we're not in communion with somebody, it doesn't mean that we think that they're not in the church, like the Synod of Metropolitan Macarius, for example, the Synod of Hopna. I'm not aware of any reason why I should not consider them to be legitimate Orthodox churches, whereas with the GOCK I am. If I find out that either the Hopna group or the Synod of Metropolitan Macarius is guilty of some canonical infraction, I may change my mind about whether or not we can let somebody like Augustine have communion in our church.
And just to go back to that point, I just want to verify this.
Who is Augustine?
The only people to my knowledge.
Is he already commuting people from the GOC Macarius?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, Father Mark Temple says he is definitely not remembering what happened. Yeah, and we're kind of in a debate here as to whether he's like in a dementia funk or he's making it up. So that's kind of the thing. But we're at we have approximately 27 minutes of this, or 13 and a half minutes as it's going at full speed, double speed, and it's 10:10. Once again, a reminder. You know, I'm probably going to have to stop this just to give people a chance to talk because currently the goal is $196. If we can get it down to $75, we will go till 11. If we can get it down to 0, we will go till 11:30. And I'd really like the episode to be about more stuff than just this. So whatever you can do to help keep the lights on, again, support us by subscribing or donating at NFTU.net with various options like PayPal, Cash App, BTC, LTC, or XMR, or on GiveSendGo, or just send a super chat. Just click the link in the description. It all counts. And again, cafe time if you're trying to get registered at ufrosenoscafe.com. Let us know in the comments. Let's see how long it's going to take. 13 and a half minutes. All right.
Correct me if I'm mistaken, that you specifically gave permission to receive communion was Augustine from the GOCM, Timotheos pre-Synod Resistance Union, and Zoe from Hoffman.
Yep.
Those are the only three. So everybody else, you did not specifically give.
Right.
Okay.
Well, there was a period of time when Metropolitan Theodore and Leviticus Raphim and myself, after meeting with Metropolitan Gregory in Georgia,
Whoa!
The United States, Georgia,
Okay.
the Georgia overseas, we decided that we would allow our lay people to receive the confession and communion in each other's churches. Metropolitan Theodore
right, you gotta stop, Archbishop Andrei. You gotta stop. First off, let's take a look here. This is big, very big.
Is it $1,000?
It's not 1,000. I'll say that. However, DTC told me to go to GiveSendGo, and some kind gentleman. Well, I guess he keeps, he's got a network of people he works with. So, you never, it may be from him.
Yeah, watch out for that DTC. He's connected.
The DTC crowd is they're very dangerous, like ninjas. And so he just donated $200, putting us at +4 for the evening, and putting the total at $300, $304.
Wow. That's amazing,
we are
DTC.
staying
Praise the
till,
Lord.
We are staying until 11:30.
Thank all your connected ninjas.
I don't know who did it among the DTC community, the DTC family.
It's greatly appreciated, though.
Huge, he said. Huge. You get it on free because, yes, thank you so much. And Father Mark says, yes, he had me give a GOCM person communion when he visited in November, right, because he liked the GOCM guy. Yeah. Oh, well, that's personal preference, I guess, is always the way to do it. All right, so we now have enough to finish watching because we have 13 minutes left and we've got another hour to go.
Hold on, Father. Did he say he met with Metropolitan Gregory in Georgia?
Yeah, he did.
And they decided to unofficially have communion?
Yeah, that seems to be the impression he gave.
Can you rewind that just a little bit since we got time?
Yeah, of course. We got the time. We got the time. Let's do that.
There's a period of time when
these claims have been brought out. The only people, to my knowledge, correct me if I'm mistaken, that you specifically gave permission to receive communion was Augustine from the GOCM, Timotheos pre-Synod Resistance Union, and Zoe from Hoffman.
Yeah.
Those are the only three. So everybody else, you did not specifically give a to.
Right. Okay. Well, there was a period of time when Metropolitan Theodore and Leviticus Raphim and myself, after meeting with Metropolitan Gregory in Georgia, not the United States, Georgia, but the Georgia overseas, we decided that we would allow our lay people to receive the confession and communion in each other's churches. Metropolitan Theodore was not ready for priests.
They allowed confession and communion in each other's churches.
But he did allow for our lay people to take confession and communion in each other's churches if they couldn't. Like, we have people that live far away from our churches that live close by a Hoffman parish, or vice versa. So there was a period of time when we allowed that. But something happened last year, another unrelated thing, and I rescinded that decision with Metropolitan Theodore's.
By the way, the underrated thing was that he was expecting and pushing for full communion with Hockna, but then they found some bishop who was, I forget which synod, some Russian synod, and he broke off and formed his own thing and became pro-name worshiping, and so they made him the official representative of Rokor Hockna, and they kicked Andrei to the curb. So that's what happened. That was the minor
Interesting.
thing.
Which there's nothing wrong with that canonically. to my
No,
knowledge.
no, I rescinded that decision, but it doesn't mean that I consider that synod to be devoid of grace and outside the Orthodox Church. There are many reasons why
Yeah.
we might break communion. For example, St. Paul and St. Barnabas, who were school chums, grew up together, studied together, became Christian apostles together, preached together, but they had a contention at one point, and they parted ways, and they never served with each other again. They're both saints, but they stopped having communion with each other. Same thing is true here. There are things that people do. Sometimes they're unruly. They break certain canons, and we are commanded by the canons not to have communion with these people. Doesn't mean that their whole synod is devoid of grace.
All right.
I don't consider
St.
that all
Paul
of
and
them
St.
without
Barnabas,
grace,
as I
but,
understand, got into a fight, but they didn't break communion or anything. like
Yeah, that's
that.
kind
This
of
is-
weird. Where's he
this is
getting that
kinda-
from?
Yeah, this is kind of weird. Father Mark says, "What happened? You either have all the sacraments or none of them." Yeah, he's doing the Cyprianism while accusing others of Cyprianism.
Yeah, and
So-
why are they doing just the laymen and not the clergy? That's weird. That's like world Orthodox though.
It's Cyprianism for me, but not for thee.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this
true.
is bad. This is bad.
Metropolitan Gregory did something that I cannot abide, and my response was to break communion, this limited communion that we had with them.
Still can't believe this is
So
double
just
speed.
The last thing, to kind of end on a good note. What are some words of encouragement on a broad scale that you could give to the people in this
Limited
topic
communion.
that are going through these kind of
I don't even know what that is.
Well, I would say Orthodox people, look around at what's going on in the world.
We are.
It seems to me, I mean, there are many prophecies floating around about the end of the world. A lot of them, I think, are maybe some of them are bogus. We don't know if these things pertain to our time or not. But there are two prophecies in particular that I look to that are sent to us by our Lord himself.
Prophecies. Here we go.
He said that when the Son of Man comes,
By who?
He's
sent to us by
talking
our Lord
about
himself.
two prophecies he looks to.
He said that when the Son of Man comes, the second time, will he find faith on the earth? We live at a time, like he said, when he comes the second time, it'll be a time like it was during the days of Noah and during the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. What does that mean? The time of Noah was a time of almost universal apostasy. Only 8 believers were left in the true God at the time of Noah. The Lord put them in the ark and saved them from the flood, which washed away all the filth of unbelief from the earth. Are we not now in another time like that, where there are very few people left who maintain the one true faith and the one true God?
No, we're not actually in a time like that because there's still like, I mean, one could argue the 7,000 souls who didn't bow their knees to Paul, but
Unless you're
we're
taking
way bigger than 7,000 souls. I mean, there's millions of people throughout the world.
Yeah, but he kind of admitted that he's a Gregory of Colorado type in that
Yeah,
statement.
he's totally doing Gregory Colorado. Again.
Yep.
And so this is sad to watch. But again, I'm amazed that we're playing this at double speed and he still doesn't sound like a chipmunk or anything. He just sounds like he's talking.
It's crazy.
The other prophecy that the Lord himself spoke about was it will be like it was in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. Look around. Do you think that could be applied to the society that we live in now? I think that today we accept things as commonplace that they could not even dream about in Sodom and Gomorrah. They could never dream about a boy becoming a girl or a girl becoming a boy.
Oh,
Yet
they
today we
did.
have medicine
They
and
did
surgeries
back then.
where we try to do that very thing. This is beyond what they were doing in Sodom and Gomorrah.
No, it's not.
And many people across this country and Europe and who knows where else, even if they're not homosexuals themselves, they will say something like, well, I don't believe in it myself. I'm not a homosexual. But if these two people are in love with each other, they should be allowed to love each other and have families and live together and do what they want and have their rights and so on. And I think it's not right to say that it's proper, that it's okay to do something which God has prohibited.
They
think
did
that's the right
that
thing to
in
do.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
We might not have any way of controlling it, but at the very least, we have to say it's not right because it's prohibited by God. It's prohibited
So
by
he's
God, by God.
distracting.
Sexual
He's
relations.
distracting attention.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to. He's I think he's trying to do a
He's trying
soapbox thing.
He's trying to sound prophetic.
Yeah, he is.
Well,
And
he's sounding more like a politician now. There are all kinds of sins up there in Washington, and they have all their distractions to keep people from continuing a conversation.
Yep.
So that sounds.
You're right, Father. He
sounds
does sound
like a
like a
sin.
politician.
He does. He sounds like he's like, this is his stump speech. I mean, it is for the internet. He's like, I am running for bishop, and I want everyone who doesn't have a true Orthodox church yet to consider me.
One of my policies is name worship.
Yep. One of my policies is name worship, and I have the best name worship. And I do better name worship than the other people. I thought that was amazing. Like, no, that's a real thing. Like, if you looked at his website, like he's like, Gregory Laurier was sort of right, but I was more right because he was trying to argue the whole, icon thing, and I was just like, well, if God's in his essence, then his name is his essence. And I'm like, wow, that's actually worse. And
Yeah.
so he's like, I've got the best name worshiping. Anyway, so I got the best heresy. Little Fish Big Mountain says, does he mean St. John Mark? I don't think St. Paul and St. Barnabas had a problem, just that Barnabas wanted to go with Mark, so Paul took St. Silas instead. Yeah, that's correct. But he's using this to justify his intercommunion experiments that apparently if anyone else does it, it's Cyprianism. So here we go.
Are for the purpose of procreating. The male member is made for the female member. It's obvious for anybody who has a precursory knowledge of anatomy and biology. It does, the female organ doesn't make any sense without the male organ, and vice versa.
Okay.
You cannot get a child out of two men or two women.
Okay.
You cannot make a child that way. You need a male and a female. Biology itself dictates that.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I would say, are the prophecies of Jesus Christ himself being fulfilled around us right now? Look around. Are you waiting for some big catastrophes? They've already happened. The 20th century is one big catastrophe after another one.
That is true.
You can say they're already fulfilled. Are you waiting for Elias to come and Enoch? Is it Enoch or Enos? I can't remember.
Enos?
The Lord himself said, because the apostles asked him, why did you say that Elias must come first? And the Lord said, and I tell you that Elias has already come. And they did to him whatever they wanted to. And the apostles understood that he was talking about St. John the Baptist. So if you're waiting for Elias to come, and the Lord is saying he already came.
All right, that was a
maybe
free comment. Make Roac the GOC again.
Okay, for us, but for the Lord, 1,000 years is like one day.
Oh man, I was thinking of it, but somebody actually said it. Okay.
Look around and see what's going on in the world. Where is the true faith? We believe it's the Orthodox faith. Okay, so who's Orthodox today? Who today is preaching what the apostles?
Here it comes.
Who today is keeping the apostolic canons or trying to?
Yeah. And then Little Fish McMahon says Enos is the Greek transliteration of the Hebrew Enoch. Oh, okay. Anyway, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you got the King James version. Sometimes they do it Enos or Enoch. They switch it around.
Lindorfer says, do you know who Father Sergei Serjanov? He's apparently attached to the New Jersey Roac Church. Father Sergei actually used to have a parish in Brooklyn that was actually moderately successful. I think it had like 60 to 70 parishioners. I don't know how. Eventually it closed down. I don't know what the circumstance was there. I can't imagine it had anything to do with Bishop Andrei's splendid pastoral sense. But in any case, so he's, I guess, kind of just assisting there in the meantime. Let's continue on. Continue on as the great prophecies. We're down to 16 minutes on regular speed at 8 minutes.
Are people who say, oh, the 68th canon doesn't matter. The 31st canon, it doesn't matter. The 30th canon, it doesn't matter. Are those the people you want to entrust your souls to? They're trying to rebuild some old empires to make themselves, wealthy and happy and make a golden age of orthodoxy? No, the time is short. Many of the prophecies that were spoken to us about the horrible things that have to happen, they're already fulfilled.
Yeah. Layman John put this up, and Trump voice, I'm the best bishop, the greatest bishop. Some say the greatest bishop of all time.
Best bishop ever.
There's no other. The problem is that if you do the Trump voice, it ends up sounding like Gregory of Colorado.
Yeah,
Well, it's MABA. It's MABA. Make awesome bishops again.
All right, let's finish this.
And yet, the end is not yet. It'll be a day when nobody's expecting it, when men are least expecting it. When people are going about their normal everyday business, buying and selling, marrying and giving in marriage, it'll be a day when two men will be working out in the field, one will be taken, one will be left. Two women will be washing their clothes at the river, and one will be taken, and one will be left. Two men will be working on a roof, one will be taken, and one will be left.
Actually sounds fast now. You must be getting excited.
We have this thing amongst Americans, especially you want to make some Orthodox church which incorporates your imagined traditions that have been lost for more than 1,000 years. You want to reconstitute some Western rite or something. No, Orthodoxy survives.
Oh, he's salty.
Cold-blooded.
He's salty.
You got salty on you guys. Oh.
He's like, you can't have your Western rite. He's salty. Let me see here. You have to do the Trump hands. Little Fish Mountain has the Trump hands up. Sammy, so 3475. Gregory of Colorado has Roac listed under false Orthodox. That is correct, because Gregory of Colorado, after they took Andrei and made him a bishop, he kind of declared them all to be heretics because they used the Kormchaya Kniga, not knowing that was just the Russian Book of Canons, or if he did know it, presenting it like it was something dangerous and fake, and lied about that. So then he separated himself from them. So yeah,
everybody. Yep.
Let me see here.
all these synods in Greece all trace their episcopal ordinations back to the Russians of the Royal Court. I'm not saying you have to learn Russian, but
You kind of did.
You just got to change your last name.
imagine the people of New Guinea, that like to run around with bones in their noses, eating other people and so on.
Yeah.
Imagine British missionaries coming there in the 19th century and saying, okay, you people of New Guinea, we're going to civilize you, we're going to bring you into the British Empire, but you have to learn, first of all, to wear clothes. You have to learn to keep to your own wife. You have to learn not to eat other people. You have to take these bones out of your noses. You have to wear some clothes. You have to have high tea at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You have to learn how to speak English. You have to go to school. You have to go to our church. You have to be baptized. Can you imagine New Guinea people saying, okay, yes, we'll accept Christianity, but we still want to keep our New Guinea customs because those are our traditions. We're not English. So yes, we'll accept the gospel. We'll accept that, but we're not going to eat. We're not going to speak your language. We're not going to drink your tea. We're not going to stop eating each other. We're not going to stop visiting each other's wives whenever we feel like it. Can you imagine what kind of a situation? Are these people really becoming Christian? Isn't there pride about their own traditions and their own selves getting in the way? Americans are not used to...
He's isolating himself.
We're used to being first.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah.
Space.
More and more, he really is.
Electricity, we invented television, we invented the cars, whatever.
God have mercy
We're used to
on
being the best and the foremost in the world. But when it comes to religion, we're not. We have to humble ourselves and learn from somebody else. Look at the people in Alaska. In the 19th century, 18th century, 19th century, they learned Orthodoxy from Russian missionaries. At the time, Alaska was not part of the United States, it was part of Russia. They tried to learn as much as they could from the Russians.
Okay, we got comments. Lindorfer says Archbishop Andrei coming from Gregory, Colorado is a huge red flag. That's a compromise as he seems to have forgotten that the church has always been in the end times. Very true. DJ688 says this is Father Chad. I assume it's Father Chad Arneson. Greetings. Roak is a legitimate synod of the true Orthodox Church. Vladika Andrei is a true bishop of the church. I agree. However, I think that Archbishop Andrei is starting to isolate himself from the rest of the synod of Roak and push himself towards Hoffman. Father Mark Template says Father Mark Templetikov. Orthodox traditionalist says we have the best name worshiping. Nobody worships name worships like I do. Little Fish McMountain says not drinking tea is anathema. Lindorfer says Father Chad, according to most Roak people, your Orokana synod is illegitimate. I don't know. I'm not in either synod. Orthodox traditionalist says Andrei is a heretic. Orthodox traditionalist, I guess, if this is Father Chad, says Orthodox traditionalist, watch your mouth. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know when you jumped in, Father, if this is Father Chad. I don't know if it is, but if it is, he's been saying some wacky stuff over the past hour and a half. If you haven't seen the video, I suggest watching it. But there's some
He's got a bunch of lies, that's for sure.
Yeah, he has lied about stuff. So let me see. Orthodox traditionalist heretic. All right.
Many of them never learned how to speak Russian. But today you go up there, they still wear the scarves. The women wear the scarves like the Russian women. They wear skirts like Russian women. The men wear the same kind of shirts that Russian men wore 200 years ago. They incorporated as much as they could from these Russian missionaries. They made an alphabet for them. They started writing books for them. They never had any books in their own language before. They translated the services into their own language, okay. But they sing them according to the Russian music they learned from these Russian missionaries. Because with their hearts, they adopted everything they could from their Russian teachers. And I think there's value in that. Because along with learning things that you think are mundane, you learn things that are more important. And you absorb everything that it means to be Orthodox. Being Orthodox means we live a certain way, we dress a certain way, we eat a certain way, we behave a certain way. We have customs that are Orthodox. We learn from our Orthodox fathers and from the Russians that we don't have in the West. It's not because we want to be like Russians, it's because we want to be like Orthodox, and these people were Orthodox. Instead of saying,
you changed your name to Russify.
And saying we have a right to these things because we have an Orthodox past. Yep. Our Orthodox ancestors died out 1,000 years ago. There's no living tradition that has come down to us in the West of Orthodoxy. We have to learn Orthodoxy now from the people who have brought it into the 21st century. That is the Russians. And it's still alive in Russia, mostly in the catacombs, where people are constantly living in fear.
Yeah, it's just Russia.
And defrauded, robbed of what they have for the sake of their faith.
First off, I don't even think most Russian true Orthodox think like this. They don't.
No.
And I mean, I have no idea, but I'm sorry. That's yeah, he's getting in his own way. Lemon John says, so does he think Russian spirituality is the only legitimate spirituality? With a member chat, thank you so much. I mean,
good
he's kind of hinting at it.
He comes across as a Russophile, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got 11 minutes or 5 minutes because we're actually playing this at double speed to everyone's shock. But yeah, let's finish it up.
Love and respect and honor them for that, and we try and emulate them and learn from them and incorporate what they have to teach us into our own lives here. We will, of course, continue to do some things the way we do them in America anyway. But we should try to absorb as much as we can from those people who have Orthodoxy to teach us, to give to us. Learn everything we can from them, emulate them in everything that we can, do everything like they do. And when the Lord sees that kind of humility, he will give us that same grace. But he resists the prideful. He stands far away from prideful people. He abandons them after a certain amount of time. Like we just witnessed down there in Avita Springs, didn't we?
Wow, he just got,
Oh.
he just shaded Father Mark and called him having a wow.
Oh, that was kind of
That was unnecessary. Let's repeat. Let's replay that.
that was a bit unnecessary.
Yeah, that was what the
Far from them. Emulate them in everything that we can. Do everything like they do. And when the Lord sees that kind of humility, he will give us that same grace. But he resists the prideful. He stands far away from prideful people.
Father. Whoa, welcome. Hold on. Welcome, Father Chad. Give me a second. Welcome, Father Chad.
Hi. Sorry. Let me turn off the other. Thank you. Let me turn off my other browser here.
Okay. Lindorfer says Father Mark is prideful. Can we get that losing sound? I mean, I kind of feel like it's kind of merited. Yeah, this interview's been wacky so far.
That's crazy.
But in any case, I definitely want to get Father Chad's input on it because I think he kind of he sounds like he's coming from a bit of a different position. So I am definitely curious to hear it. But I will give the losing sound for the whole prideful accusation. That was some serious and unnecessary shade. Gotta redo it. Sorry.
Not cool.
All right. Anyway, Father Chad, I don't know if you can hear us. Okay, he's coming in with another one. Hold on.
Yeah, I think he had to close out his.
Yeah, I had to close that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome, Father Chad.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Thanks for letting me come on here. I will admit that I didn't, as normally, I didn't listen to the whole video.
Most people don't, but it's okay.
So I just wanted to say that because it's obviously Sunday of Forgiveness. I saw that you guys were streaming.
Forgive me a sinner.
But I just please forgive me a sinner.
You got forgive.
I just want to say I'm a little surprised at the video just because I heard a comment like, for example, maybe it was dementia and this sort of thing. I just want to say for the record, I spoke with Archbishop Andrei recently, not too long ago, and we spoke for maybe 2 hours on the phone. And that man is not suffering from dementia. It was total recall. No. Yeah. It was times, dates, places, nonstop. He has better recall than I do. I just want to say
that was my suspicion too.
I mean, seriously, if I ever, God forbid, get dementia, please give me that kind.
Oh, no. So what happened earlier in the video, Father Chad, so since you didn't see it, is that he accused Father Mark of saying that Father Mark said that he had severe dementia. And Father Mark said that was false. He never made that accusation.
And,
so when we were referencing back to that, it was back to that. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I spoke to Father Mark. If you're listening to this, you can jump on. But Father Mark and I had a conversation, and I have to tell you that I don't think that what you're saying is completely the case. But I don't want to get into it on the air. I got to tell you guys though that it's the Sunday of Forgiveness, and please forgive me. But I don't want to stay on very long here. But I'm just hoping that this can be wrapped up as soon as possible because. ROAC is a legitimate synod of the church, and Archbishop Andrei is a legitimate bishop of the Russian church. And I got to tell you, I'm a little put off by the I hope you can take this in love. I'm put off by the broadcast tonight, what I'm hearing.
I understand everyone has a variety of opinions on this topic. I will say this. I was introduced to this video a few days ago. I did not really want to play it. I didn't even really want to watch it. And I didn't watch it, but I kept getting requests. Different people were sending me things and pointing out that they actually shut off the comments on the video because people were protesting the video and what it was saying in their own way. So I said, fine, we're going to review it. I even got asked that at the beginning of the show. I knew it was pretty much going to go like this. There are things I was at one point under Bishop Andrei for a few months, and he literally booted me out of the synod along with a bunch of other people. And I know that sounds harsh, but when I say that, he literally said, "Leave our synod and go somewhere else," and actually told this to clergy of the ROAC at the time when he first came in.
Father, the problem with a lot of this is, I mean, bishops. I wasn't there, but I just know that in these particular cases, let's just take what you're saying at face value.
Well, it wasn't just me. There were a few people. It was a lot of people. It was not a mistake.
Bishops make mistakes. I'm sure we could probably find every true Orthodox bishop, or let's say most of them, that have done certain things where clergy would say, the bishop this or that mistake. But at the end of the day, they're still the bishops of the church. And we could even find, for example, Metropolitan Vitali. He made some whoppers, for example. But still, we speak of him as a blessed memory, And I just think that it does sound, please receive this in love, it does sound a little bit, because of what you just said, it does sound a little bit like sour grapes.
Well, if I'm going to be honest with Father Chad, I don't want to be rude. I really don't. But
I don't either.
My point is, I am well over any issues I had with Archbishop Andrei. I'm actually grateful because of the fact that had he not done that, I would not have taken the path in life that I did. So I definitely do not have sour grapes. As I mentioned, I was asked to play a video that I didn't even want to play. So the point is, that's not my motivation. But a lot of other people are really upset. Many of them are in the chat. And on top of that, they were expressing that at the video, and then the comments were shut down. That to me indicates that, maybe there's something worth talking about here. But in this video, we're catching things that, I'm sorry to say, this is why I agree with you. I don't think he has dementia. We're catching things that are lies, like open lies. And now if I am, God forgive him, but that doesn't change the fact that what he's saying is lying.
Yeah, and we opened the video with saying, if you hear any lies, remember that this is a bishop and he has to stand before God. So we're not standing in judgment of him.
And we're just
letting him talk, and and just showing the history and the actual calling out the lies, and then God has to judge them, or we can't judge them. So
well, I guess that's not what I got from the tone when I was logging on here.
Okay.
Also, I want to address something in the chat here. Orthodox Traditionalists says, when do legitimate bishops teach the name worshiping heresy? My understanding is that Archbishop Andrei follows the 1921 letter of St. Tikhon against the name worshiping heresy, and he's part of the synod that booted Laurier.
Right,
so
but
I don't understand that.
If I may help explain, basically we understand this. What happened was the condemnation in 1913. In 1914, there was a reconciliation. Then there was St. Tikhon's ultimate reception back of those who were in the error of name worshiping. However, the modern name worshipers, starting with Laurier, try to present this as the name worshipers being exonerated and all of their enemies being heretics.
Yeah, it's unresolved. And that's what he said in this video.
And it's what he said in this video. It's what he said in letters on the website. So he's implying a very different version of Russian history than what actually happened.
Well, if that's the case, then perhaps it would, just a suggestion, it's your show, but maybe take one topic at a time. And if you want to dissect and make some sort of an argument, and then have the other side come back and do a rebuttal, that seems more constructive to me. But the way you're talking about Vladika Andrei just doesn't seem very productive to me. So forgive me, I do need to get going, but I just wanted to say that, and please forgive me, a sinner. I hope that's okay that I
could I interject something? Could I interject something?
Sure.
What is Bishop Andrei doing that is what is resulting as productive from all of what he's doing? What's he trying to produce with his track that he's going on?
That is again, that is something that would be up to somebody to do more of a formal, maybe a video on that topic, but just a free form video like this where you are, it just seems very disrespectful. It doesn't seem very church-like. Forgive me, and I know that sounds very harsh. Forgive me.
I've heard it for years. It's fine. Everyone says I suck. It's okay.
Well, I mean, he did this interview during the preparatory weeks of Lent. So, I mean, yeah.
I would say look at the fruits of what is happening over all of this, and weigh out what's good and what is causing, friction and dissension and
and he was speaking
so weigh it out.
He was speaking slander against Father Mark, and Father Mark addressed it.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's between, that is between him and Father Mark.
Exactly.
I suppose Father Mark.
Yeah, but this is a public video that I've been forced to comment on.
Yeah.
It's not like I chose this.
Yeah, if he's made it public, then that's
it's open. Yeah.
Then that's open debate now.
It should have been a private matter, which he made public.
Yeah, I mean, this video attacks Metropolitan Demetrius. It attacks Father Mark. It even takes a swipe at Western Rite people. I mean, it takes an attack. It's an attack on converts. It's frankly insulting, and we're actually upset. I'm upset about it for a number of different reasons, none of which have to do with my personal experience with Archbishop Andrei. This sounds like a completely different guy than the guy I met, and that's fine. I guess we're just reconstructing ourselves. But this is what we do every Sunday. It's just that this is a longer video than most and a more ridiculous one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to hear the whole thing later, and I guess I have a knee-jerk reaction against something that seems like a circular firing squad, but maybe that's not what's happening here. But thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. And
you're always welcome, Father. This is what we do on Sundays. People just call openly. Archbishop Andrei could call if he wants to.
Yep.
Well, just for the record, I have never heard Vladika Andrei confess any heresy. If he has certain jurisdictional claims, well, I guess we can all we all have our jurisdictional opinions.
Lindorfer has
have my opinions.
Father Lindorfer has asked this question a couple of times, and I guess he just wants to clarify. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but he says, please ask Father if he thinks Imya is not a heresy. I'm pretty sure he does.
No, I'm a very strong opponent of the Imya heresy.
Okay.
And I think I've made that very, very clear.
Okay.
So I'm probably a good person to talk about this because I have a sensitive meter for that particular heresy.
Okay.
I would love for Father Chad to listen to this interview without our commentary. I would love for him to come back next week.
I would definitely recommend that. Go to, hold on, who is this? This is St. Dimitri of Rostov, and look up Archbishop Andrei interview. Watch the whole thing yourself without us commenting.
I'll just say this, it seems from what limited I have, I've started my Substack and various other things, so I will admit, limited time.
Oh, you have a Substack now?
I do. I just started a Substack here in the last week or so.
What's the link?
Oh, you know what? I'm so bad at the technology of this, but it's patristic orthodoxy. Oh, brother.
Oh, you're patristic orthodox. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think I actually have seen that before. .substack.com?
Maybe. Hold on. I'm going to just... I did a 3-part article on against Romanides here, And
Oh yeah.
the fourth,
Okay.
I'll probably save the fourth part of the article here. But here's one article that I have. I'll just put it in the studio chat here.
Okay.
So maybe you
Yeah.
can find it from there. That's my
Yeah.
Substack.
Hold on one
But
second.
I think there'll be another two, probably at least two parts of that
All right. So
article against
a friend
Archimedes.
sent
And
me that.
I have a meditation for today's Sunday of Orthodoxy.
I had a friend that sent me that. So you're the one behind that. Okay, that makes sense now.
Oh, good. Well,
I'm having
please.
trouble seeing it. Hold on. I don't know
Oh,
what's
okay.
going on.
I was gonna
Well,
add.
it could be something that I have from where I'm logged in. If you take off everything after the slash.
Yeah. Let me try that first.
Yeah, it should just be like patricianorthodoxy.substack.com or something.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm trying right now. All right, it's just taking a while to
Thank you
load.
so much. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, definitely. We want. Well, you know, we consider you a friend of the channel, you know, and so definitely we
Thank
want
you.
Now, do you have anything on YouTube or?
I have very few things on YouTube, but that's I'm planning for that to come next. I just think that there needs to be more true Orthodox content, and I have the blessing of my Archbishop Andrei to post.
Yep. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna subscribe because.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
We definitely need more stuff out there.
And you know, you guys can subscribe for free if anybody wants to support. I appreciate it, but you know, you should be able to get my content for free, and we'll see how things develop going forward. But
I like anything
I'm figuring this out.
All right, so I have to get to the comments because there's quite a few, and this is all kind of like questions here. Someone said Father Boniface passed out. No, I think he was just I don't know. Maybe he was just shocked. He was in shock. Let's see. Orthodox tradition says when did legitimate bishops teach a name worshiping heresy? That to compromise says LOL. This was never an attack on Roac. A bishop lying in public. Cassian JW says we worship the Lord's name all the time in liturgy. Yes, we do, but we don't think that it is God. Does Father Chad agree that Emuslavia is not a heresy? Yes, he does, and he already answered that. John 12:28 says Barnold, Rogana adopting this now too? I don't think they are adopting that at all. Sammy Yogi 3075 says, well said, Father Boniface. Lindorfer, Lindorfer, we answered that. Orthodox Field said it's a public video. Father Mark says, let's get this straight as well. None of us can diagnose nor clear someone of cognitive decline. None of us have been given him a properly qualified cognitive test. Okay. That the compromise says some people don't like public discourse. Orthodox Christian says, is it okay to criticize World Orthodox Christian publics, but not a name worshiping true Orthodox?
I don't think it's a matter of public discourse. I think it's the timing. I think since it is the Sunday of forgiveness. So.
Yeah, I was first told about this video on Tuesday, and I was so busy I couldn't do another show.
I'm just glad we can speak with each other with such charity. So
yeah.
And to answer the other question, Father Chad is in his late 40s.
Okay.
Hey.
All right. So you sound young, Father. That's why. You know, it's
Yeah,
it does.
I know. And I also good thing I'm a priest and I have a beard. I also have a baby face as well. So
the beard helps.
Six children, and
wow,
my oldest,
many years.
My oldest is 20. Thank you. My oldest is 20. Just to put things in
Wow.
perspective.
Wow. Okay, so
this year,
you're kind of in that. You're kind of in our age peer
He
group.
started early.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And this year, Matushka and I celebrate 25 years of happy marriage.
Oh, glory to God! That's
Congratulations.
Oh, you beat me by a year, Father.
He's definitely my best. So
let's see here. Let's see. Little Fish Big Mountain says, I respect Father Chad's reservations, to be honest, and I think everyone's taking it well. Yeah. That to Compromise says the issue with Bishop Andrei is not a jurisdiction issue. Barnold says, how old is Father Chad at break? Okay. We put up, again, Father Chad's Substack is patristicorthodoxy.substack.com. You can subscribe for free, or you can help support him with a monthly donation. So let's see. Barnold says, not for me at the moment. I guess it's different. Little Wing with a member chat says, Reader John, you're a true homie. Sammy G says, isn't Andronic under MP? No.
No.
Archbishop Andronic
If he was under MP, Father Chad wouldn't be there.
Yeah, let's to be clear, there are a few different bishops named Andronic in the
Yeah.
world, but Archbishop Andronic of Rokana is the head of the Rokana Synod, and he is part of the continuing Rokor movement. So no, they're not that's not wrong guy. Sandy.
He was the head of the Holy Land Mission in Rokor up until 2007, when the Rokor Synod did the unthinkable and fell away from Orthodoxy and was swallowed by a schismatic, uncanonical Moscow
Stalin
patriarch.
created MP. Yeah.
Now they're
Oh, go ahead.
Now I was just saying. Now the MP is digested fully, sorry, the Rokor is fully digested by the MP. So.
Yep. Let's see. SNZ7 says no. Rokana is TO and Father Chad is under Rokana. Yes. So he says, Sammy OG says, my bad, nothing to do with Roka Diocese of Australia and New Zealand. No, I'm pretty sure that does actually have to do with the Roka, because isn't that's Bishop, I always forget the Australian name.
Andrei, but
okay, Andrei,
Bishop Andrei.
But
unfortunately, we don't have any parishes to my knowledge in New Zealand. I wish that weren't the case.
Oh, okay. But you do in Australia, though, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, we had a great unia in Australia under Vladika Andrei. The parishes under Vladika Stefan Sabelnik with the RTOC, we had a union with them. And so there was a great union that took place in Australia as a result of that.
Glory to God. And then Sammy OG says, another Bishop Andrei. You see what I mean? All right. So thank you for that, Father Chad. We're going to try, if you want to stick around, we have approximately 8 minutes, which we're playing. Believe it or not, this is actually us playing on Archbishop Andrei at double speed, like 200%.
Well, I tell you, that being the case, I will just politely decline just because I'm not really interested in commenting. It would be too tempting for me to comment, and I don't want to hijack your show. But thank you for letting me make the constructive criticism. And
no problem.
Thank you for making it.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you every time you're here. So you're always welcome.
Thank you so much, you guys. You have a wonderful evening.
Likewise.
Blessed struggles, Father.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, that was interesting. All right. Okay. Well, all right. We promised a job, and we got donations to do the job. And if you want to send donations, you can continue. And we're going to finish the job. We have just about 8 minutes or 4 minutes at double speed. Barnold says, "What's in it? Can I join to become a bishop as fast as possible?" So he said, Gregory, how do I? Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not even reading that last comment.
Just witnessed down there in Abita Springs, didn't we? I over the last 56 months, seem like they do. We will, of course, continue to do some things the way we do them in America anyway.
But he's talking about like the missionary work of the the Russians to the American people, but then it ends like this. So.
We should try to absorb as much as we can from those people who have orthodoxy to teach us, to give to us. Learn everything we can from them, emulate them in everything that we can, do everything like they do. And when the Lord sees that kind of humility, he will give us that same grace. But he resists the prideful. He stands far away from prideful people. He abandons them after a certain amount of time, like we just witnessed down there in Abita Springs, didn't we? I over the last 50, 60 years that I've been Orthodox, I've seen many American boys come through, like Jordan Bell and so on, seminary. I'm just going to learn the Orthodox part and leave the Russian stuff behind. I don't want to learn the language. I don't want to learn how the language they pray in. I don't want to learn the music. I don't want to learn anything else. I just want to take out the Orthodox part. And I have to say about 90% of them that I've known ended up losing Orthodoxy. They didn't hang on. I very nearly joined them in that. The one thing that helped me, I think, was that I learned their language. And that gave me the opportunity to talk to people like Archbishop Andrei, Bishop Alton Filaret. Bishop Gregory could speak English, but I never spoke English with him. I always spoke Russian with him. And others. Vladika Verki didn't speak any English. Vladika Seraphim in Chicago, I never heard him speak English. I never heard Vladika Lipi speak English.
Valentine as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I learned a lot from these people, owing to the fact that I was able to speak their language. And I think that's ultimately what helped me stay Orthodox when I went through the same temptations that everybody else went through. So my advice is, say your prayers, do your fasting, go to church when you have the opportunity to go. Come together and join together. Metropolitan Valentine grew up in a catacomb community. His father was a World War II pilot, He came home from war with no arms and no legs. Just the torso and the head. They called up his mother and said, come and pick up your husband. He can't stay in the hospital anymore. There's nothing more we can do for him. Now this woman, who was looking for this man to work and provide for her and her child, now she's got to be 24/7 caretaker for this man. He had no arms, no legs. He couldn't do anything for himself.
Let's see. On that note, Barnold says, I'm just pulling your leg, Father Joseph. Okay. Okay.
Right after we hear about a guy with no arm, no legs. Not cool.
Yeah. I will say this about Bishop Andrei here, that he's all referring to Russia or Greece or whatever, and there's no mention of Britain, Western Orthodoxy at all.
Well, he
So
did say
just
that he considers that all dead.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awful.
He said it lacks continuity.
Yep.
Well,
Shed the light. Yeah. Go ahead, Father.
Yeah, I mean, 1,000 years of destruction has certainly uprooted the British Orthodoxy, and France has a problem. Europe, Western Europe has had its issues. And look at all the wars that have been through. So yeah, it's a little bit, but we honor the saints that are there, and it should be honored. They should not be forgotten, and they're a valid history. They're a wonderful history, and it's just not proper to ignore those who gave their lives and gave their, and went to martyrdom and served the Lord faithfully. And so that's just, that's not right. So
No,
anyway.
it's not. I don't think so. I agree. Now, interesting, Orthodox traditionalist says, interesting that he hasn't called Metropolitan Filaret as a saint in a single time in this video.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
I did notice that, yep.
And because Roac glorified Metropolitan St. Philaret like in 2005, I want to say, before he was even a bishop or part of their synod. So that is really weird.
How does Hockna approach Metropolitan or St. Philaret?
No, well, Hockna ended up having. They thought that they were going to do the glorification either first or at the same time, and then Roac just did it ahead of them. And so that kind of that left us was kind of a sticking point in the craw of the Hockna bishops. Shed the Light 14 says, does Roken have an unofficial communion with the GOCK? I don't know, but that is a question I would ask them. Little Fish Big Mountain says, therefore, if I know not the meaning of the voice, I shall be unto him that speaketh a barbarian, and he that speaketh shall be a barbarian unto me. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 11. Shed the Light says he's being pretty prideful in this video. Barnold Jenkins says, where did you get that coffee maker in the back? The Salvation Army thrift store. I actually got that. That is a Keurig machine, and I got that for $7. I haven't used it in quite a few months, but I do have near my incense production area, I do have quite a few K-cups of fair to middling coffee I got from Ollie's.
Don't forget to clean that thing out. It gets nasty real quick.
I heard, yeah, I actually did realize that, but I haven't used it in like a year, so I just have to give it a quick.
Lots of vinegar.
Yeah, isn't that the same Philaret that wrote the longer catechism? I just got a copy of that. No, that's you're thinking of Saint Philaret of Moscow, which is about 150 years.
A little bit earlier.
And Orthodox Traditionalist says no, we don't. Death to Compromise says Hockna sells Saint Philaret icons. Yes, they did. They did glorify him in. I want to say 2000. They both glorified St. Philaret around 2001.
I don't know. I don't really keep up with Hockna. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I was in Hockna, I think.
I know.
I remember in 2001. So Lindorfer says, no, little fish. That is St. Philaret of Moscow. Barnold says, pro tip, Father Joseph, don't use hotel coffee makers. I'll keep that in mind. I don't often spend time in a hotel. Layman John says, are you selling incense or just making it for personal use with a member chat? The answer to that is I usually sell in batches. Usually I'll sell at 8 ounce to 16 ounce. I don't make the small ones anymore. I have small ones available for my own use, but I will start producing more batches again, and I will announce it. Usually they go pretty fast. So it's not, maybe I have so many schedule problems now. Maybe when I'm done with the book, when I'm done with the other book that I'm working on, which is a Western Rite book that I'm helping out with. And then when we get some clarification on potential debates, etc., when I have a better idea of a schedule and I'm not constantly being jogged around during the day and night as to when I'm needed, when I have a better schedule, God willing, one day I will get back to incense regularly. Let me see. Orthodox Church, I just saw that video on why so gross. It's a little fish McDonald says, is this St. Philaret of New York? Yes. Ascendancy, Rokana allows some GOC clinicals to take communion from the parishes if they don't have a GOC parish in their area. It's informal communion, aka lay level communion, because they were actually in communion until 2011, I think. And they didn't try to break communion with the GOC. They tried to actually, they were trying to get Metropolitan Fungal deposed, and it didn't work. But some people saw the justification for why they did that. It's a complicated situation, I would say. Talk to Rokana and Rokore people themselves. I don't want to jump in on that. Let me see here. Yeah, let's see. JZ688. This has been the same for the case for a long time. Lindenberg hope that Rokana joins the GOC at some point in the future. It's complicated. Ignatius 301 says, Father Joseph, I want that Western Rite book. Littlefish Big Mountain says the prayer book. The Western Rite book, the one that's full color and everything like that, is actually available on Lulu.com, so you can order it. However, this is not the prayer book. I'm probably not doing a new edition of that ever. That's the last version of it that's going to exist. So, is the Barnold says, is the two bishops and a trailer prophecy real? By that you mean Jay Dyer? It hasn't been real since he said it. All right, we are now in the last few minutes. Let's finish this so we can at least have a few minutes without Archbishop Andrei on my screen.
She went crazy. She became an alcoholic. We think about it, he was 9 years old. He was adopted sort of by an older lady who was a catacomb Christian. And he was raised in that kind of a community. He said they got together every night and said their prayers. They saw a priest once a year. Once a year. But they said their prayers every night. That's the key, my brothers and sisters. That kind of dedication, that kind of faith, that kind of patience. Eventually, he grew up, the Soviet Union ended, he became a clergyman, he became a metropolitan. And he made it possible for people in other countries to become Orthodox. Those are our fathers in the faith that God has given us to emulate. Read the epistle that we read every time we have a feast of a great hierarch. What does it say? Remember your elders and learn from them, having seen the outcome of their lives. Someday when we die, and we're all gathered before the throne of Christ at the second coming, the last judgment, we're going to see these fathers. And they're going to look at us and they're going to say one of two things. Either they're going to say, oh, you're here. Good. Come over here and stand with us. You kept what we gave you. You incorporated it into your lives. You were loyal to it. You kept it. Or they're going to say, what did you not understand? We preached for you. We traveled for you. We wrote for you. You saw how God preserved our relics whole and incorrupt after we died. You saw everything about our lives. What did you not understand? You wanted to go be with these people over there? Okay, so go be with them now. You don't get to stand with us now. I believe that's what we're going to do.
So I have a question.
In the future.
Yeah.
Did any of the people that he is referring to believe in what he believes?
I don't think so. And I'm a little bothered. I'm a little bothered. Huh?
Do you mean name worshiping Father Boniface?
Yeah, the Yugoslavia. Yeah, did any of the people that he's referring to in this background and heritage believe what?
No.
Well, then how can he pull them out of his pocket then? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I want to let the video finish so we have a little time, and I'm gonna.
Sure, I just wanted to interject that.
Yeah, no problem. No, you had a valid point. So.
Now, what do you want to hear? Do you want to hear? Come stand with us. You kept what we gave you. The Lord himself said, in that day many will come and say, Lord, I've done wonderful things. I have cast out demons. I healed the sick and I raised the dead. But I will say to them, he says, indeed, I never knew you. Depart from me. He said that, not me. How can you say you didn't expect that? You don't know that. It's a miracle, I think, that anybody would find us and dedicate himself to Orthodoxy because of us. But it happens every day. People contact me from all over the world. They're interested in our church. They find us through the internet usually, or by word of mouth from people, talking and so on. from all kinds of places you wouldn't even imagine. Ask and you shall receive. You asked, you received. Now hold on to it. Grab it. Hug it. Keep it close to you. Live it. Suffer for it. Die for it. And you will live forever.
Well, I very much appreciate your time with this, Lidika, for being able to speak with me.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's over.
Oh goodness.
So I want to make a quick comment before. How many people are now soliciting him to come join with his? He's busy talking about all these great issues and saints and theology, but he's overriding the Yugoslavia problem. He should be defending his case, really. So how many people are joining his bandwagon? As he's saying, we're talking with all kinds of people. Well, how many people are coming on board?
Anthony Williamson, 4744, just came on and said, many years to Lidika, I did that interview. Well, first off, that was a very, very thorough interview. A lot of them, let me see. Let's see. Except one of them single-handedly killed the Rocor witness against the MP in the U.S. I'm not even sure what that's a reference to. Lindorfer said, at this point, I think the Rocana is more legitimate than the Roak under Archbishop Andrei. I don't think it's a question of legitimacy. I think it's just a question of the things people do. I, for one, was not exactly a great fan of the presentation of the life of Metropolitan Valentin. That was partially true, but he kind of he kind of had a catacomb adoptive mother, and he was praying, and then the Soviet Union fell, and then he was suddenly made a metropolitan. That's made up. He did have catacomb contacts, but in fact, Metropolitan Valentin, before he became a bishop in the Rocor, was probably one of the most famous Moscow Patriarchate priests there was, because he was a celebrity chef. Like, he was featured in international magazines for his cooking. He had a large following about his cooking. And he was a well-known public figure, which is precisely why when he joined the Free Russian Orthodox Church, so many people related to him as a credible person that he started talking about the stuff that was happening with the Soviets, that they completely knew that what he was saying was the truth. So the idea that there's he was very friendly to the catacomb people, but the idea that there's almost like presenting it like it's a mystical catacomb angle, I think is honestly not fair, especially to the fact that there were catacomb hierarchs in Roak at the time. So, I mean, that's just a minor takeaway on my part. But let me see here. Anthony Williamson said, to be fair, I asked him how he met Metropolitan Valentin. Well, I would assume he met Metropolitan Valentin when they rescued Father Andrei from Dermishin Skeet, which happened back in 2004. So, in any case, once again, first off, we are already victorious in the goal reaching. We did reach plus $4, so we made $304. Glory to God. Thank you so much for all the support there. But if anyone wants to help keep the lights on, you can still just support us by subscribing or donating at NFTU.net with various options like PayPal, Cash App, BTC, LTC, or XMR, or on Give, Send, Go. Let's take a look here at the comments and continue. Orthodox traditionalists, it's DJ. Father Chad says Orthodox traditionalists has jumped the shark. Okay. Anthony Williams, I heard my questions might be a bit hard to hear.
I would just like to say we've heard lies, we've heard slander, we've heard sleight of hand, we've heard that a condemned heresy is an unresolved matter. So I would say leave it to the judgment of God. And if you can't think of anything to pray for this Lent, I would certainly pray for Archbishop Andrei.
Yeah, no matter what the case is.
Exactly.
Ascendancy What are you talking about? So Vladika Andronic committed a vile sin of murder, or he helped put What are you talking about? Or he helped put Rokor into the arms of the EMP despite being a Nazi commemorator before a non-commemorator before the What are we talking about here? Archbishop Andrei was part of the Rokor Archbishop Agafangel that became Metropolitan Agafangel in 2007. So, yeah, I have no idea. Orthodox traditionalists made a bizarre accusation against Vladika Andronic. Okay, I'm going to have to scroll up and see what it is. One of them single-handedly killed the Rokor witness against the MP in the U.S. Yeah, I'm staying out of that one. This is my daughter's again. Yes, it's Father Chat. Yes, you did confirm that. You were on the show earlier and expressed your concerns, which we really appreciate. So definitely. Again, it is a live Q&A show. So if you want to jump on the screen to ask a question, make a comment, issue a challenge, click the link at the top of the chat or in the StreamYard link at the YouTube chat. So this is good. And as always, cafe time. If you're trying to get onto the PrestonWestCafe.com, let us know in the comments. Here, Lindorf says, I think he means that the split from Vladika Andronic and Vladika Agafangel killed the witness for Russian to Orthodoxy in the U.S. I don't know. I don't know.
I just don't have a dog in the fight anymore. So,
I mean, if Orthodox traditionalist wants to jump on and accuse Vladika Andronic to my face, he can let me know. Yeah, I don't know if he can do that. The problem is it's a complicated situation. And so let me see here. Father Joseph was just asking clarification as ODP claimed Vladika Andronic killed the Roka witness against the MP single-handedly, but it doesn't make much sense as he was a non-commemorator. The split between the Rokore and the Rokana, unfortunately, was one that I think all parties agree was not handled at its best. They really should have addressed the not just accusations, but charges that the people were throwing against Metropolitan Agafangel, because it was not just Archbishop Andronic, it was a lot of people who had been pushing and asking Archbishop Andrei. So to that degree, you can't really blame the man by himself. It doesn't seem fair. But again, there's a lot of people have their own opinions.
History is messy.
I'm not part of the Rokore or the Rokana. I have no dog in this fight. So I don't even feel comfortable talking about ROAC sometimes. But the point is, I don't generally feel comfortable talking about other people's palace intrigue, and that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I would say history is messy at that point because of just everything went crazy in 2007.
Yeah. So. Barnold says, when is Father Boniface becoming a bishop? Let's see here. SNZ7 says, if he's talking about 2016, Metropolitan Agafangel was in the wrong. Lindorfer says the man can have an opinion. TJ688 says, Metropolitan Agafangel received the Sakach clergy, perhaps Orthodox traditionalists, and happy to be with questionable apostolic succession. To be fair, my Russian synod also has Sakach clergy, so I don't buy into Vladika Lazar's judgments in 1990 and 1991. Even Metropolitan Hilarion, before his, he joined the MP, said that they made a mistake in taking Archbishop Lazar's statements at face value. So, I think the Sakach consecrations corrected themselves, and that's where I'm leaving it. So, in any case,
history is messy.
Yeah. It is. Asenazi says, as Metropolitan Agafangel acted like a pope and took his churches arbitrarily and did a few things without synodal approval. He also seized 2 other parishes in Russia and Kazakhstan. Little Fish Big Mountain says, sending love to Father Boniface. Father bless.
The Lord bless you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
So let's see
So
here.
there you got it. Big Boniface blessing.
The Orthodox Field says Matt versus Barnold. We cannot have Matt versus Barnold if there is no Matt, and I haven't seen him. So
because he hasn't been around in a while.
Round 2.
Lindorfer says,
I quite enjoyed round 1.
Yeah, I think round one was all we needed. Lindor says, all I know is that Archbishop Andrei ain't helping with unity. Yes. Orthodox Field says, when are we going to get another Matt and Barnold debate? As I mentioned, if there's at least $1,000 in donations,
I think Barnold chased him off. So.
I will do for $1,000 in donations. I'm probably going to have to share with Matt or Barnold or both. I will host that debate on next February 30th.
For all you that are slow, that's a never.
Okay, so we made it this far. Let me see here. Barnold says, Barnold Jenkins says, Father Joseph, have you found any sponsors for my debate with Matt? No. Anyway.
Sponsors. Yeah, I guess for $1,000 you would need a sponsor.
Yeah, you would definitely need a sponsor, like, I don't know, somebody big. That's something YouTube approved me for advertisements. I can now list companies and I can talk about them and tell people to go to my affiliate link. And so far, the only company I recognized was Lowe's. I'm not a tool guy, so I don't know how that's going to work. I guess I can look through the list more carefully. It's like hundreds of companies.
Do you like hammering heresy, like hammering a nail? Go to Lowe's.
Hey, there you go.
Do you like glue? I like glue. Lowe's has lots of glue. Check this out. I don't know what to say.
Orthodox unity is like glue.
Now, AliExpress is on that list, and these tapestries, like the one I have here and the other one downstairs, they come from AliExpress. So I might consider that one. But let me see.
I got an idea. I was talking this over, or I forget, was it with you, Rear John, about how you're talking about coffee. And
yeah.
I think that the best coffee company would be a chock full of nuts, because that really is descriptive of us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me see here. Congrats, Father Joseph. We need some more genuine unity. Yeah, we do.
People don't know the alternate. It's not notes from the underground. It's nuts from the underground as well.
That sounds more like what Gregory of Colorado used to call it. It's nuts from the underworld. And so, let's see. Can Barnold call in and give his take on an interview, or just yell Matt a couple of times? Barnold, Lowe's got plants. That's true. Lowe's got plants. So we'll see. This might be a very interesting land. We're going to try.
Yeah, but we're Orthodoxy. We don't want plants. See what I did there?
Yeah, but it's Lent. We need plants.
Well, is it Lowe's that has the motto "Always improving"?
I don't even know. I was about to.
I think it is.
We'll see you when you get here, and I feel like that's also wrong. Let me see here. So I'm not. When am I becoming an archpriest? Whenever my bishop tells me. Little Fish Big Mountain says, if you got a mold problem, Lowe's has 30% vinegar. That the compromise says NFTU blend. Little Winnie says that was a good one, Father Boniface. So yeah. But, wow. Wacky stuff. But all right. So
we need our own chopped nut brand.
Yeah. So yeah, this has been this was interesting. One of the things that, because it was so long, because that was almost 2 hours long, even though we played it at double speed, it took up so much of the stream.
Yeah.
So
don't remind me.
And well, what are you gonna do? But we did cover it, proving that no matter what you ask for, I'm gonna do it. Okay. Would you do a workout stream for $20? Father Joe, not now.
20,000.
It's 11:18 Eastern, and this is
we got to figure out. We got to figure out what machine you're going to do it on.
Yeah, okay. I keep in mind, I'm like at the 10-minute walk stage. Like I'm not looking to pump iron or anything like that. Would I do a workout stream? No, not for $20. I mean, maybe like
You'd have to
200.
donate some Chuck Norris strength for him to do that too.
You'd have to donate. Yeah, you'd have to you'd be donating for a gym membership basically because I don't have any equipment. So you're like, hello, it's Father Joseph. Here I am at
$20, 20 push-ups. Right?
Planet Fitness.
Yeah, there you go.
You cover me for Planet Fitness. I guess I'll go to Planet Fitness and like 1 a.m. when there's no one there and be like,
But no yoga. That's forbidden.
Yeah, no yoga.
Well, I do the push-up. I do a push-up sit-up challenge for Father Joseph. How many you can do?
I would lose. That's the sad part. I know that
I have the feeling Father Boniface would win on that one.
I have a feeling he would too. He fixes houses and stuff. I'm like dead at 15 push-ups. So
he was a heave ho and what was it? A water heater or something.
So yeah, I would lose to Father Boniface. I fully admit that. He comes from a generation which is much healthier than mine. Gen X was the first super fat generation. So anyway, not that everyone in Gen X was super fat, just a lot of people. But okay, that
was a TV dinner generation, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a TV. It was the TV generation, the TV and TV dinner generation. And the video
I remember them. Swanson TV dinners.
Oh yeah. Well, they still have those. I think Swanson does Hungry Man.
Oh yeah,
Hungry Jack.
Yeah, let me see here. Father Mark Template says, "Thanks, y'all. Have a blessed, clean Monday." Yes, you same Father.
Blessed struggle, Father.
Have a joyous struggle, a profitable struggle this great Lent. May we all. Let me see here. Lindorfer says, "Thanks for all you do, Father Mark. Remember that we will not put up with the slander." Yes, definitely. This was a spirited conversation on all sides,
but charitable.
Oh, Tim L. Jr. with a member chat says, "Do the rebounder. Best exercise." Rebounder?
The what?
Hold on. Give me a second. I'll find it. Let's see here. Rebounder exercise.
The only rebound.
Oh, rebounder workout. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
Is that one of those stepping pads? One of those bouncing?
It looks
pads?
like they use trampolines.
Oh, is that the little tiny trampoline where you're like running in place?
The circle. Yeah.
That's scary. I would go right through it, or I'd bounce.
Oh, I would fall over.
This seems like there's no like dudes doing this. Well, there's this one guy, I guess. He looks pretty thin. Oh, that's a woman. No, okay. No, there's like literally no dudes doing this. I don't know if I feel comfortable doing an exercise that literally no dudes are doing.
You know what I like to see? I like to see you on Father Joseph on the trampoline, and then Reader John and I, when he gets really high, then he'll come down and we'll jump on and we'll shoot him up in the air real high.
Yeah, none of this sounds exciting to me. It sounds
like a cartoon, Father.
Yeah, it does. It does. Let me see. Barnell Jenkins says, can you speak Spanish on your next stream, Father Joseph? Or for those hispanophones, si puedes hablar español por su próxima podcast. I could.
Un poco.
Poquito. And HML Jr. says, mini trampoline. Little Fish Mountain, Big Mountain says, me gusta el café. I like coffee.
Necesito el café.
Necesito el café. That's okay. Anyway, so let me see here. What else we've got going on? So yeah, I would put on a rebounder video just to like go for the time.
Cleanse the palate from the last one.
Right, but the problem is it's like all women in tight clothing. I'm like,
oh no, can't do it. No, too much temptation, guys. Sorry.
Yep, that's not Lenten material. So I was like, but if there was like a dude doing it, I'd be like, okay, I can relate. But there wasn't.
Yeah.
I guess I guess I'm just not ready for the trampoline exercise.
Nah, you need an obstacle course. It's what you need.
Yeah. Like
why do I imagine Father doing that to like that safety dance song? I don't know why.
The safety dance?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. You need to get an AI video of you running an obstacle course.
No, I'm not producing.
Hey, that'd be easier. That'd be easier for Father. All you have to do is prompt it.
Barnold asks, "Do you have asthma, Father Joseph?" No, I do not. What I have is a really stuffy nose.
Do you have sleep apnea, Father?
Yeah, let me see. HML DJR says, I'm a dude and I love it. Well, yeah, but if there was like a video of a dude, it'd make it easier to watch. Right now, this looks a little scary. It looks a combination of like
Looks
either
a
really
little
cheeky or
skimpy
really
there.
scary. Yeah. Train for a Spartan run, says little Fish Big Mountain. So,
Oh boy.
Barnold says, where'd you get that Nello where'd you get that Nello Yapkin? No, this is
Nello, yeah.
this is actually from Harbor Freight. These are microfiber cleaning cloths. So
That's rather nice. Yeah. I like
these
that.
are really good. They're pretty cheap over there, but I had them for a long time. They're really good for cleaning computer stuff. They're really good for picking up dirt, etc. But they also make very soft handkerchiefs. So, as far as I'm concerned, Orthodox traditionalist says, Father Joseph, is it still snowing up there? Glory to God, no. It was really bad, and then it took forever to clear up. It was like 0 degrees. Finally, this past week, it heated up to around 40 for the past 4 to 5 days. Most of the snow melted. They promised us the biggest snow would come today. They were even calling it thunder snow because they weren't even sure what to call it. And
bomb cyclone
or
something like
that.
that.
It was rain. We got rain.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
Did the Abbey get anything?
I think they actually got a lot of their snow cleared out as well. Also,
Wow. Good.
oh man, I got a buddy down in Mexico. I just noticed that news.
Wait, what?
The stuff going on in Mexico. I got a buddy down there. I was like, I might want to text him after this.
He does. I don't know whether I should feel blessed or confused.
Do what? What happened?
I received a message from one of. First off, hold on, we got to do a congratulations because I did get one more. Thank you to D for. Hold on. Whoa. Holy mackerel. This is crazy that I'm seeing this. I can't believe it, actually. We did just get a donation from D for $10.
Okay.
So thank you so much for helping keep the lights on, D. And we can bring this up to $314 for a perfect night total. We are now $14 over the total. And we will put that up there. So we did great today. And I guess I can mention what okay. I received something from one of our synod's people who does a lot of work on it's a Jonut Barnold. Barnold says, what's your go-to donut, Father Joseph? Yeah, since I've been diagnosed with diabetes. Yeah, my donut of choices probably I was gonna say it's probably like an Atkins bar. But yeah, I can't even have those because most of those aren't fasting.
No donuts for you.
But what I was saying was, interestingly enough, when I noticed the donation, again, thank you, D, for that $10 donation. Mm-hmm. Somebody pointed to something I thought I had lost. It turns out that someone was poking around the old Father Aiden sites, and he always had looked up Western Rite culture and stuff like that, like when he was first really an actual active Western Rite guy, and then he left for Rocorn P. He found video of my wedding, and I thought we lost that. I was sure we lost that. I just got this. Senya, even though I'm live here, I just want to say I just got this message. Someone found video of our wedding. I thought it was gone. This is cool. Thank you. Thank you for finding that too, James. That's kind of awesome. Well, apparently, so do I now. Anyway, a no nut.
A no nut. Wow.
Yeah, that's the keto version of a donut. No nut. Yeah, a faux nut, says Little Fish Big Mountain.
Faux nut. I like that.
What is your recap of the video posted tonight, especially after the commentary from the chat section and comments? I'm not doing a recap of this. It was long, and it was for many people clearly on both sides kind of upsetting and traumatic. And
I can summarize it.
Father Aiden's still doing. Oh, go ahead.
It should have been left a private matter.
No. Father Aiden's still doing Western Rite stuff, Orthodox ritual. Yeah, he is in that DC like monastery thing with Metropolitan Jonah, but it's I think unfortunately I feel bad the way he went down. It's just he shouldn't have left. He shouldn't have left True Orthodoxy, and I'm sad he did.
I feel bad he stuck with Metropolitan Jonah.
Yeah, I know, of all people. So that's compromise says LOL. Again, we are now in the 29th minute we're in the end, so we got to do this. As always, when we are successful on a stream and make it to the total. That started wrong. Restart.
You broke it.
Hold on, let's try again.
Lenten winning.
Awesome. And when I was in Jonah's camp, I did a Western Rite liturgy with Jonah's monastery. Yeah, but sometimes I used the Anglican stuff too, so that's unfortunate. That's what I mean by it's problematic.
The Angliokian?
Yeah. Winning. Yes, it was.
Lenten winning.
Lenten winning. So thank you to everyone, to our guests, to Reader John and Father Boniface. We're always here and very supportive. To Father Chad, who came on earlier. To our listeners, to those who had questions and had comments on all sides, and to those who support our mission, support the channel. We at NFTU need your help. Support us by subscribing or donating at nftu.net or on Give, Send, Go. We remember all of you in our prayers, and thank you for all the support for NFTU. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, and just to finish, Barnold says, "Are you a grandpa, Father Joseph?" Yes, I am. And Orthodox Ritualist says he does the serum. I think, well, God willing, he does, because I hope he would. He hasn't. He kind of softened up on like the late Western Rite stuff. So I don't know. And DJ says, "Thank you for pitching my Substack. No problem. Have a good night, everyone. And more importantly, and most importantly, may this fast be profitable for all of you as we speed towards Pascha. And may God bless you in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. With the prayers of Holy Father, so Jesus Christ, our God, have mercy on us and save us.
Amen. Blessed struggles, everyone.